What, for the sound, or are you not allowed to do it?
We are back. We are live. We are here.
Ooh.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a little
minute.
moment. It's been
It's
a
been a-
hot minute.
I'm glad to
How you
have
doing,
you
guys?
back. I've missed you guys.
I know, right? Missed you too.
Hi, chat.
Missed you too.
Hi,
I missed you
Squire.
guys.
Hey,
Hey, man.
guys.
Hi, Squire.
So the world's been pretty quiet
I'm just
since
adding my story.
we were last here, right?
Yeah. It's like there's a worldwide pandemic still going on that we don't want to talk about as a society.
I know,
Not
right?
late.
Something
Not
like
mu-
that, yeah.
Not much has happened. Not much is going on. There's no big elections going on. People are fit and healthy. Jobs are going well. The economy's booming, and people trust their politicians.
Yeah,
Sweet, right.
absolutely.
Been a good show.
Right,
So,
anyway.
the
guys.
news. I trust the
Been
news.
fun.
Anyway,
as well.
back. So yeah, it's been tough, hasn't it? I mean, like,
Oh, aye.
obviously we were doing these every couple of weeks. We kind of hope to get back into the swing and maybe doing a few more when we can. But everybody has their own bits and pieces that they get up to and reasons why they can and can't stream. And I think we kind of want to, well, speaking for myself, want to try and make sure that this four can be together as much as possible when we do these, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why it's been a little bit a while. But it's great to see some of you guys back. And it's Ellie's first time on YouTube.
It is.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Hi,
Isn't it?
YouTube.
The tingling feeling's different, isn't it?
I'm trying to be cool about it, but I can't actually find the chat, so I can't see if anybody's saying it.
It's just
You'll
there.
hate it.
I'm like,
sorry.
this isn't like
sorry.
Twitch. Where
It's
is
on
the
the right. It's in the same place. It's
Oh, dear. Such
YouTube
a
hype.
boomer.
What do you
It's-
mean? Where?
It's just go on the
Because
thing
I'm
and
trying
it's
to
right.
find it on my phone.
Go on my.
link is
It's in, if you're on your phone, you go down, scroll down, and it's right
Oh.
there. You click on live chat.
Did. It
Click
doesn't
on
go
live
any
chat.
further.
One
My
sec,
phone's
Swoop, could you
doing
motion
something
down again? I
weird.
just need to take a screenshot.
Yeah, the thing is, the good thing about YouTube is you don't have to be sitting there and like worry and get interrupted by people throwing in 4 cents worth of bits at you, and then you have to act like they've just given you £1 million. You know, thank you so much for the 4 bits. That's amazing. You guys are fantastic. I love you so much.
That was like 2 minutes before throwing shade at his old
No,
platform.
you have no idea how much I appreciate you guys. That 4 cents is going to go a long way to help during this pandemic. You know, it's like, you don't have to do that, you know? We don't have to be that way. But yes, we are still called the Affiliate Show because the majority of us are affiliates. I'm still an affiliate.
Yeah, you're an affiliate.
I'm still an affiliate. I just don't stream on Twitch anymore until somebody wants to pay me.
Ooh.
So, you know, OTK, Asmongold, if you're listening.
Statement.
It's a political statement. Yeah. So what have you guys been up to? Tell me a story, a fun one, before we get deep.
A fun one.
Yeah, if there's any fun ones. Anybody got any fun stories of the last couple of months since we've been here, we've been away?
I do. I did the morally responsible thing and went on holiday. So we'll get into the morally responsible bit later. But for now, the fun bit, I went to Poland, which I thought was going to be. I'm going to be honest. I thought it was going to be dire. I thought it was going to be like not mud huts, but I thought the roads would be crap and all the buildings would be Soviet bloc.
What is wrong with you?
Honestly, I have such a
You're
bad
so English. You're so colonial.
I know.
I know for a fact
And
he
it's
probably
amazing.
went there, and the first thing he said was like, "Right, where's my Sunday roast?
No,
Where can I get a fish and chips at?"
I brought my own tea.
I'm a good traveller. I want the experience. I pre-thought.
No, don't listen.
What? No, don't listen.
What,
I had this preconception, and it wasn't like it at all. It's such a beautiful country with beautiful people.
It's nice, right?
And I think what overall I got from that country is they do so much with so little. Like cabbage. Okay? Now, run with me on this one. Okay? Cabbage in this country is boiled within an inch of its life and then served, and it's awful. It's awful. I don't blame people for not liking cabbage. I don't like cabbage. In Poland, I do. It's different. It's like they've learnt
Polish
that
cabbage.
it's what we can get. Let's make it amazing, and they do. It's so good. I had it in Mexican. I was a bit put off. I got this burrito. I was like, this has got cabbage in it. And I thought this is not going to be. It's amazing. Like everyone should have cabbage in their burritos.
So what we've learned here is, can I ask?
Food you tried? It was Mexican food, but
In
Poland.
Poland.
That was like on the one book last night. We had
So can I ask? Did you take anything? Did you take anything like quintessentially English over with you because you thought you were walking over to mud huts, as you say? Did you take like, I'm taking my own tea and my own HP sauce and? Did you do anything like that?
I tell you what. Despite staying in not a Hilton, down from a Hilton. What was it? Radisson. Despite staying in a Radisson, I was convinced the internet was going to be crap, so I took my own mobile internet with me. Turns out Poland does actually have internet.
The Radisson, eh? The stock's suffering, are they, mate?
The
The portfolio's suffering. They needed to go to a Radisson. Do not boil cabbage. There's so many other good ways to cook it. I mean, yeah, cabbage. All right, I'll roll with cabbage. So I've been to Poland, not for a while. I went to Krakow. Krakow was awesome. I'd love to go back.
Okay.
I was talking about
Krakow.
it.
Yeah,
I was talking about it not that long ago, actually, that I would love to go back there.
Oh, am I the only one that hasn't been to Poland?
Yeah,
You haven't
Somebody
been.
take me to Poland.
yeah, that's you. Tea and scones were in his carry-on. Yeah, maybe. He may very well have been. So how
I'll
was
tell you
how
something
was
funny in a minute.
how
Remind me.
was
Go on.
the travel with the restrictions and things? Did you feel there was any sort of hold-ups? Were you in queues? Did you get your temperature checked? Your balls felt? Anything like that?
I was I mean, just in the toilets, but I don't think that was official.
I was going to say, due to COVID, turn around, drop your pants, bend over for me.
That's what we do up here.
So there was, and never once did I have my temperature checked at all. So if that was meant to have happened, it did not happen anyway. I didn't see it.
I think it would have happened at least one in the airport.
You would have thought it was happened.
You just looked
from a
ill
personal
anyway, so
point-
didn't bother.
Yeah, like from a personal point of view, I because I don't work in any kind of sector that requires me to like go in and wear a mask. I haven't worn a mask for a long period of time. 15 minutes is the maximum I've done. So I thought about it. I thought, right, I'll outside the airport. I'm not going to have it on. I put it on. I sort of rushed through security, went straight for a Weatherspoons, which I didn't want to do, but that's all Donny Airport has, and had a pint so that I could take my mask off. And I just thought, great, I've made it past that bit. I've now got to do the plane bit. Okay. And you know what, guys?
Can I just point out, that's so rude.
Yeah.
Some people like Weatherspoons, okay?
Nothing wrong with a spoon.
Spoons
are
as a
right.
whole is
The ghastly
fine.
Weatherspoon.
It's the company I have a problem
to
with,
bring myself
not
to walk
necessarily
into a
the man who
Weatherspoon.
served me, who was perfectly pleasant at Donny Airport. No, it is spoons as an idea that I don't like.
Right.
But anyway, but there's no way getting around the fact it's a 2-hour flight that you've got to have your mask on for, and if you don't, you're a cunt. And
But some people have illnesses.
oh yeah,
Like,
But anyway,
COPD.
Wow. Just get ill. I don't care. Just get ill. Doesn't affect me.
What do we think about that? Do you think there's an excuse? Now, I know this could get quite contentious, but do you think there is
Think
a
I
reason to
elderly
not?
grandparents with COPD that literally can barely breathe as it is without a mask on.
Or should
And
they
you
then?
can still breathe through one.
Wait,
but
then
it's like
what are
hot
they
and
doing?
Stuffy, and I don't know if you've ever tried to do that with that kind of an illness, but
The-
it's hard.
Devil's advocate.
What are they
then,
doing on a
should-
plane going to Poland? Then?
But they don't. They don't go to the store. Like they get
Yeah.
us to go for them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Devil's advocate. Then should you then not? It's as harsh as it may be that you
Yeah, they
have
wouldn't
any
be getting
form
on a
of
plane and going on a
disabilities,
holiday.
illnesses that
Yeah.
kind of restrict you from that. Should you not then be staying at home?
You should.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, it's tough, but then you'll obviously get people that be like, well, I've got just as much right to go out as anybody else. I'm like, well, you do, but then surely
You do.
we
but
all
you
have
a
the
right
moral
to protect
responsibility, right?
everyone.
Yeah.
Because the
No,
more.
no, you have a responsibility to protect everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think
you
there's
just-
a moral responsibility there.
Well, yeah. If you've got that kind of an illness, you don't want to be taking the risk anyway. So.
But this
I don't know
goes
why-
it goes as far as
something
people
what-
with like anxiety and things like that as well, aren't we? Or not?
Yeah, I was
Yes,
just
it
about to say
does.
a friend of mine has like a card thing for anxiety, but I was in a shop the other day,
Photoshop's
like just
good, yeah.
getting some food, and there was a guy behind me, and he said he was diabetic, so he couldn't wear one, and I was like,
No, you can't eat
I
a
don't- I
Mars
don't see
bar.
the link. Yeah, I was like, I don't see the link, and he said I'm
God.
diabetic, and he had like a card out, and I was like, well, are people just taking the piss now? Just be like, oh well, I've got some sort of problem. I'm
I
going to
actually
use
really
that as an
don't think that
excuse.
is on the list because I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it is.
I was like,
I mean,
I was
someone
just like,
correct me if
okay.
I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
but I was like,
I know.
go on.
I agree with things like some people have PTSD and they've had trauma from being suffocated or something like something horrible. Like I agree with them not being able to do that, but then surely you've got people that can help you get your groceries and things. You still
And
don't need to
so
actually be
you,
out.
you should be
Yeah.
isolating then, not because maybe you can't go out,
Yeah.
but
or if you're gonna
because
go
maybe
to work,
it's
you find a segregated area that you can work in safely or something.
yeah.
You can get groceries delivered now, can't you? Like it's like
You can get like
don't
you
even
can
have to
get
leave.
groceries delivered for ages, but even things like Deliveroo will go to the shop for you. You know, there was the other night, right?
yeah,
My
exactly.
girlfriend and I were sitting in, and I was like, you fancy a packet of crisps, don't you? She's like,
oh, you know me so well,
yeah.
babe.
No,
Wow.
she totally did. She was like, yeah, I do. And I was like, yeah, we fancy a packet of crisps. So I went on Deliveroo, and I was like, right, Co-op, okay. And I was like, I can't
No
just
way.
order a packet of crisps to be delivered. So I ended up having to
Does
get
it
like
actually do that though?
the,
Ordering
yeah.
packets of crisps.
From
So
Co-op? That's
yeah.
brilliant.
So I had Co-op and Morrison's and stuff was in. So I ended up having to like just
Oh wow!
buy loads of random shit just so it looked like a proper shop.
You've got like 70 packets of Maltesers.
I was like, I bought like more cheese. I was like, oh, like you can never have enough cheese, right? And now our fridge is full of cheese, you know. I was like, we'll need eggs at some point. I might as well get some eggs, you know. And so we just throw all the stuff in. So for the sake of a packet of crisps,
So
we
you
spent
got
like
like a
25
mini
quid.
shop, like you mini shop.
It's
Yeah.
the most expensive packet of
It was
crisps you've
about
ever had.
25 quid packet of crisps. This,
Yeah.
you know, and we've got some Haribo as well, I guess. So that was fine.
Main one, was it worth
Oh,
it though?
nice.
Yeah, totally. Nobody got COVID. I mean, the guy that
Okay.
delivered it got a sore back, but
Well, okay. Well, question 2 then: did he drop it off at your doorstep and then back away like he was the bomb disposal unit?
yeah.
He did do that.
Oh, my
Okay,
t-
that's good.
Not that I'm
Throw it
going
at
to
the door.
confirm. I'm not going to confirm nor deny how much takeaway I get on a weekly basis, but every takeaway I've got during COVID, it's been a few. They've all knocked on the
Oh,
door, and then there's
yeah.
like nobody there in a package.
I've
So
said that as
no one's
well.
down the street going, "Thank you very much."
I've had that as well. Where they've just knocked and they've gone
The
bye.
Phantom.
I got I got
Literally just put a head poked out of a car at one point, just going, "Thank you, bye."
those guys must
Okay.
be so busy just now though, right? Takeaways must be making a
Oh, yeah.
fortune.
Oh yeah.
Killing.
Raking in
I mean,
because
I haven't looked at any statistics, but that industry must be booming.
yeah, like on
Well,
Literally.
on like a Friday
They
night where
earn a lot
people
of
aren't
money
going to
on-
restaurants
on
and stuff.
McLeod's orders alone before COVID. So
Well, everybody must be, you know,
It's
like
only
we're not the
6
only
times
ones.
out of 7 days. Jeez.
yeah, and
Another
what's a
7.
takeaway roast from the pub?
The takeaway roast from the pub doesn't count as takeaway, does it? It's not takeaway.
We ordered a takeaway baked potato.
I have takeaway
I mean, to be
7
fair,
times a week.
Do you have vegetables on it?
But they come in a carton. That
It
I
counts
throw
as a
away.
takeaway then.
Yeah, if it got delivered to
McLeod
your
eats out
door.
every day. See,
McLeod
Squire's
eats it.
called you out on your
Yeah,
shit
Squire
too.
knows.
Squire's there for half the meals. That's why.
Yeah.
In
He
fairness,
knows,
we-
he enjoys the ASMR of me squelching through a doner meat.
We 7 times you mean
7
14
times.
lunch and tea. I mean, we have like we've had quite a few, but then we've tried to make the effort as well. It's weird. It's like we've had quite a few takeaways, but at the same time we've then went to the shop and bought like really nice ingredients and made really nice dinners as well. So we think that kind of evens it out. So we're kind of all right. And I'll be honest, we do when we have that week where we've bothered our asses to go to the shop, we feel so much better. Like everything's life's just a bit better rather than just like
Yeah, yeah, right.
so
Sitting in.
Bit more colour in the
Chinese?
world.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
because
literally.
you've got no treats at the moment. You can't go out like dancing, drinking, and not that I condone that, but you know, you can't go out. You can't go. You know, out and all that stuff. So if you can't, you know, the only thing you've got is food.
everything's
Yeah,
just
literally.
everything's just a
Food
bit
and
more
the
stressful,
internet.
isn't it? Like everything is like before going out or doing something would be just very very easy and very straightforward. You're like, right, I'm going out. I've got a few quid in my pocket. I'm going out. I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to get some. I'll get something to eat while I'm out there. Now you're like, hang on, do I have to book this? Wait, what time does it shut?
Yeah,
Have I got
the
masks?
spontaneity
You know?
I've actually missed more than the going out.
Yeah.
The spontaneity of it.
Yeah.
It's that suddenly, oh right, let's go out tomorrow.
No
Or
muscle
let's go out
plan.
tonight. Let's go. Yeah, you know, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's strange
So I try
and
to
it's
avoid
forced.
to go out now because it's such a stressful environment. Like,
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you meet some friends or whatever, and you're like, do we hug? Do we not?
Air high five, like
elbows.
I know.
Yeah.
Are we elbowing from afar? You know, it's just
Yeah.
it's
and
a
I guess
strange
it's-
situation.
it is, and it's a situation. We spoke about it on our podcast before about when we were talking specifically about COVID, but it's just it's never. People say it's never going to be the same again, right? I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I think when things settle down further, maybe within the next year or however long it takes, because humans always end up taking the path of least resistance, right? So eventually we're just going to get lazy again. And people in pubs, and I noticed that as well at places. I didn't go out a lot, but the few times I did, already you could see just slight bendings of the rules here and there and whatnot. And that's why suddenly now we're seeing a surge again, right? Why? Right. Sorry, moving on slightly from it. What pissed me off, right, was when they blamed all the sort of millennials and the students and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right, because and you think, all right, so you're blaming them for this, or is it maybe that people of that age are more likely to live in shared accommodation and they're more likely to work in the service industry, therefore they can't work from home and they're less likely to have a car, so they're more likely to get on a bus, and this is probably why
exactly
it's
right.
being transmitted around rather than just
Yeah,
that they're younger than you.
Sounds like a causation argument.
You know, it's bullshit. Like, you know, and and then the Tories are just like, those damn young people, and you're like, fuck off, Boris. You know,
Did you guys see the recent posters about jobs and the government?
jobs in the government,
What, you
jobs
mean
in the government.
The next
or-
job could be in cyber. Those
Oh,
ones.
OnlyFans.
Someone-
In
Yeah,
cyber.
yeah. Oh, you've not seen them? They're the
No.
most depressing thing you'll ever see. I promise you. It's
So the
like
one
it's
I've
honestly.
seen is
We don't have a government that makes
ballerina.
posters.
Is that the one you've seen?
I've seen them all. Honestly,
No,
yeah, they're,
I mean,
they're
I might
made
have
everywhere.
seen that one.
I never actually saw them as an advert. I just saw them as a meme.
Posters are disgusting.
Like,
Oh, here we
I
go.
didn't
Hey,
believe
short.
it.
Tell me,
The
I
posters are
need.
disgusting.
Hey, short.
Yeah,
I need
So
this in my life.
one
I
of
don't know
them
either.
is a picture of a lady tying up her ballet shoes. So she's obviously a professional dancer. And it's a government poster, like a true poster, saying what's her name in it? Is it Fatima or something?
Yeah.
Could Fatima's next job could be in cyber or something like that. And it's just basically
Oh,
about career changes for
yeah.
people, and it's all
Like
to do with
creatives.
like if they're in the arts or if they're creative or whatever, that they
Yeah.
can change their
Oh,
career.
I've just found that.
As
Yeah,
if to
all right,
say their
okay.
career
Yeah,
is like
it's saying it's like
inferior.
music and like art and stuff is not
I saw
like
really
it's not a real
good.
career sort of thing.
I know there's been memes and stuff, but there's been one that's been picked apart by
Boris the
saying
Wolf.
like little arrows on it by saying this picture was taken by a photographer and done by marketing people, and like basically everything about that poster was done by people in the
In
arts
media.
industry.
Boris,
Yeah,
how
in the
are you
It's
media
doing?
sort of a
industry.
You may,
contradiction in itself.
Boris,
Hey,
you may be
Boris.
you may be used to
Hey,
our
Boris.
my World of Warcraft streams and gaming streams, but this is something we do every so often, where a few of my other streamer friends we get together and we just shoot the shit about stuff, man. This is what basically
Hello.
what this is. In case you're like, who the fuck are these guys? And is that a real live girl? Like I understand, but no, his
No,
name's.
I
know
am
his name's.
actually male.
Fuck you! You stole my joke right from under me. I was this close. My
I know you were. I know you were. As
My
as the
timing
second
was
round
gonna
of
be-
Philip show. I've cut under your feet.
my
just
timing was
made
going to be precise there, and I could sense you doing it, and I was like, you're going to fuck it up. But all right.
We've just made a
fine.
jingle for McLeod anyway. Beauty and
Wait, what?
McLeod.
My cloud is a beast. So yeah, so they're basically. So what you're saying here is the UK government are putting out posters to say, yeah, your job's fucking shit, and we don't need it in Mad Max world. But why don't you? But you could work in like the telephones and shit. Wow.
Okay.
I know, right?
It's like basically
So-
saying you could have a real job.
Yeah,
It's like your
basically,
disappointed dad.
Wait
is
till
the
Boris
business.
Johnson finds Twitch. Oh, you're all
Oh
fucked.
my god. Yeah.
You guys are fucked. That's it.
So,
I'm good, Boris.
unlike
Thank
the
you.
BBC, to give an impartial message to the audience, I am given to understand these were commissioned and made a long time before COVID.
Oh, were they? See, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Does
I
it
jumped on
matter,
the
though?
OMG bandwagon.
Does it
so-
matter? Like, it's
Yeah.
still irrelevant.
I
They're
don't know.
still
I just thought that was an important tidbit, that it wasn't like we've come out with
I mean,
COVID's happened, stop being a ballerina. That wasn't the intended message.
Right, no, I'm glad that you brought that up.
But it's still the
government
message.
is still shit, but
I mean, it's not that much better up here. I mean, we've had there's more and more calls for independence votes and stuff like that. Apparently, a poll came out that was like the 9th straight poll that supported Scottish independence. I mean, the way I see it is these polls tend to come out with that a lot of people support Scottish independence, but I tend to think that's because people that want to vote for independence are the folk that don't have enough savvy to avoid a man in the street with a clipboard. Therefore, that's why that vote's a little bit higher. But shit like that's getting kind of real, and I mean we're slightly different. So Scotland, for those who don't know, Scotland and England work slightly different in how COVID's been sort of managed. Although we're starting to follow your lead a little bit now with some things. We are pretty much in the central belt of Scotland, so where I am. All pubs and restaurants are basically shut just now. They're not open at all until I think the 23rd. I think. So you can't go out anywhere even if you wanted to. And I think in England it's slightly different. Am I right? So it depends on your area. Depends on how fucked you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
W-
So
w-
like,
we've
where
got
we
all
are at the
US
moment, it's
states
still
on this.
pretty-
It's a bit weird, but yeah.
It's still pretty fine where we are. Like, it's just got the 10 p.m. curfew. Like, that's literally shuts
Speaking
out. Everything
of
stops at
the
10. So
States.
Mhm.
What do we think of President Trump
Did you?
getting COVID?
Right. I saw a lot of
my mama and my daddy.
I saw a lot of shit that said that it was a
Bear in mind, he
conspiracy.
got the strongest strain of COVID that there is, and whatever crap was said.
I don't believe that. I firmly believe, should I say, that I did have it, because to be honest, it's
do you?
yeah, I do, because politically, it wasn't actually good for him, and it wouldn't have been good for him. and his side know that. It shows. It
Does
shows.
he know that though?
Well, he's got people that he wouldn't have come up with this, right? There's there are still people around about him, and there's no
yeah, but
way
something tells
that
me
that
he
would
doesn't
be
really
spun.
listen to his advisors anyway.
Oh, of course he doesn't, but it's certainly not been spun in any good way, and it doesn't make him look like he's been strong on it. I mean, like Biden's well up in the polls. Did anybody watch the debate? Did anybody watch the debate?
I've seen memes, but I haven't watched it.
I watched the debate, and
Do memes.
it was
Seen
and
memes. That's
it was
how
funny.
we all watch the news now. Memes.
Yeah,
That's
well, I
just
watched the
pretty
whole
good.
damn thing, and what I did
Meaning
was
to it.
afterwards, I had two screens open afterwards, and I had CNN on one, and I had Fox News on the other, and I kept muting one and jumping back. It was brilliant. So you would have,
Was it?
God.
yeah, it was great.
I've
You'd have
never done
CNN,
that. That's a really good idea.
yeah,
That
yeah,
is such a good idea.
so you'd have CNN on, and they'd be like, their reaction would be like, "Oh my God, that's the worst thing I've ever seen. President Trump imploding like that, blah blah." blah. And then I'd mute it, and suddenly there'd be Sean Hannity, and he'd be like, "Oh my God, Biden imploded there. Donald Trump looked so strong there. Good showing from the president. This is fantastic." And I'm just like. And it was like it was funny
Media.
it was funny for about 40 seconds, and then I suddenly, you know, where you suddenly realize it's like, you know, if you're on holiday and you suddenly realize you've left your oven on back at home, like you suddenly get this cold chill that comes right the way down you,
Yep.
and then I suddenly was like, oh shit, this is it was like, how polarized are they, and how similar is it over here, and it's fucking scary. Like, you don't want to band around the words like, what happens if he loses? You know, if Trump loses, what happens? Like, Americans, we've got a few Americans kicking around the chat. What happens? Right, Americans
Tell
in the
us.
chat. Right, if Trump loses, will he leave?
I think so.
Mm.
I
barricade
happen to
himself.
think he will.
It's my White House.
I think he'll make a lot of statements that he shouldn't do via doing. I mean, it's already talk he wouldn't go to the inauguration, isn't there?
Yeah, well, that's because there's not going to be one. Because,
You're convinced of this, aren't you?
dude,
You're absolutely
like the
convinced.
amount of times Donald Trump's talked about the fact that he's like, oh, well, you know, I'll serve another 8 years. Why don't I serve 12? Why don't I serve 16? You know, he's made these statements. He's softened up the public to make them think. This is why the Democrats are actually putting through a bill called the fuck. It's not called the fuck. It's called the I can't remember, but I was listening to Shift talk about it.
Signed.
It's essentially a bill that safeguards a lot of democratic sort of freedoms and stuff in America that aren't as safe as you think, right? Such as the term limits and things like this that can, with the right motivations and the right people behind them, be overturned. And will Donald Trump not just turn around and just protest this vote and say it was rigged, it was fake, like he said all along? In the debates, he refused to say that he would accept. He refused to suggest that he would accept the result. What if he just stays? Are we going to get the Marines carrying the fat cunt out?
Literally.
You know, do you know what I mean? Like, so you just like, what if he just says? What if he just says nah? What if he just says nah? Fuck you.
President. Yeah.
I like the way me and Toast's best efforts at Donald Trump sounds like a bad version of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It does, yeah.
Get your hands off me.
Callum needs to see that. But no, the thing is, do you? Because then what you've got is you've got a country in absolute fucking turmoil.
Callum.
And if you have America in absolute turmoil, that affects everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and so we've only got a couple of weeks, boys and girls. Woo-hoo! It's exciting. Because 2020's been fine. There's nothing's gone wrong in 2020. So surely Biden will just
No,
win.
Like we're due a civil war, I think.
Yeah,
Is what you're getting at there. Yeah.
Well, what we've got to hope is Biden wins and he wins big. Because the worst thing that can happen is Biden wins just.
Half. Yeah.
You know? Like, if Biden just crawls over the line, because then people can ask questions. If Biden smashes fuck out of him, then he can't say much. You know?
Ooh, we screwed here in Canada. I'm nervous. Why, Squire?
No, because American
Why?
terminal gives the
I would be getting the maple syrup out and filling the tanks of the tanks. You know,
No, because the American terminal gives the perfect opportunity for the exploitation by another Sorry. Do you know what, Callum? I was about to go off at you because I thought you were like promoting that for a second. Right? I thought you were like, no, it's good because then another power can cut. And I'm like, motherfucker, have you met China? I was like, Callum, me and you are going to have some serious chats about who's going to take over if America gets shafted, right? Dude. But yeah, okay, I get you. You're fine. You're cool. You can stay. But like, it's a strange old world. Yeah, no, it would be disastrous. And we've got a government here that's just sitting chilling the fuck out, just enjoying it and giving big contracts to PPE to their pals. Have you seen that? Have you seen some of that stuff?
That's
Huge
standard
multi-million
Tory manifesto, isn't it?
Yeah,
To
yeah.
do
Huge
that. That's not, they don't even hide it no more.
Oh yeah, they're just like, it was like somebody that donated to the Tories during the last election. Their rat catching company got like a multi-million-pound contract for PPE, and they're like, "Did you provide any PPE?" They're like, "Oh, we're working on it." All right.
It's it's those guys that we should have in charge of the ferries. You know, do you remember that one when they got a company to sort out the ferries that had no experience doing ferries? It's like,
Not me. I'm Australian, so I don't know.
What?
Maybe you guys. There's already QAnon, which is a massive threat, more than we realize. No, I don't think they are. I'll tell you why I don't think QAnon are as big a threat. Is because QAnon can't even agree amongst themselves what nonsense they believe in. Right? If you actually look at a lot of these QAnon bits and pieces, they're always arguing amongst themselves. They don't have a clue what the fuck's going on.
So basically, like the writers of Lost.
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to be honest here.
Go
I've
along.
heard this. I've heard QAnon banded around, and I don't know what it is. So
Yeah,
in
enlighten me.
the affiliate show way, can I get a TLDR? What is QAnon?
Right, so it started off I'll tell you what, basically, right, okay. I can do it in 2 words. And one of those words is a number. 4chan.
Oh,
Did I say more?
okay.
Okay.
It's come from a lot of different bits and pieces, but essentially what you're looking at is that they are thinking that Donald Trump has been put there in order to, essentially rise up and rise the masses, and that everything he does is part of this new world order that's come to take over, and that he's just preparing us for this war and this blah 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 blah. The problem is it's really hard to pin down what QAnon think, because everything gets tarred with that. It's basically crazy conspiracy theorists plus plus plus. All right.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
it really is. We could do a whole show on QAnon actually. But it's just they don't even agree with each other. It's pretty cray. But it all essentially started on 4chan, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I thought you were just sort of 4chan and sort of like,
No, it
imagine
started
that as
4chan.
sort of like.
No,
Yeah.
its roots came from there, and then
Crazy.
it's fucking mad, man. It really is. But we've got all sorts of that to deal with, along with COVID and along with bits and pieces. So, on a slightly lighter note, have you guys been streaming at all?
My life has been so hectic, so streaming for me hasn't been an option.
Yeah.
I'm
I've
happy.
been
I'm
I've
so
been
happy
streaming
to
a
be
little
doing
bit,
this now.
but like not
Yeah.
not as much as I was. But yeah, I'm just chilling. Yeah, chilling. But I've been working a lot though. To be honest, I've been working from home still. I've been doing that since March. Well, May, sorry. So this is still working from home every day, pretty much.
How'd you find it? How'd you
and
find
then-
working from home?
It's all right. It's okay. It's different, but I'm used to it being different now. But I don't know. As I'm on my own, it's like I'm very much like I'm sat there working, and then after work, what do? I come on my computer and play games. So I'm on my computer. So I feel like I never sort of leave. I only leave to get food, and it's a bit of a weird situation. I'm sort of used to it now. At the beginning, it was really hard to sort of get on with, but I'm sort of getting used to it. And then it's all going to change again, and we're going to have to go obviously back in the office and get rid of all that change and stuff. But yeah, it's been up and down, a roller coaster,
All about the place.
literally.
Yeah.
But
It's
what
been
are
weird
you?
for
Are
me
you doing
because
the
I was
same?
mostly like at home, and then I've been more out in the hospitals and things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been really weird because it's completely different now with COVID.
Yeah.
Like
All
talking
the
about
things you
the
got to think about
PPE
first.
stuff, it's not obviously as bad as what it was with the PPE. So, I mean, I think today alone I've had like 5 masks on and probably 4 or 5 like aprons on. So it's not even
Jeez.
like you're having to wear the same stuff all day.
Yeah.
You have to sort of just keep
Whatever
switching
different
it up.
area you're going to, you switch it. So, and it's awful. Like I feel for the people that work in hospitals.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
can imagine.
Yeah, it's tough shit. Like, for me, I've found sort of streaming and that sort of side of things quite. It's it takes
It's
my
an
mind
escape
off
to
this sort
me,
of
but
stuff, you
the
know.
reason I haven't,
Yeah, it's escapism.
yeah, no, I totally agree.
Mm.
For me, I think it's changed your work day. So I don't know about anybody else, but like obviously because of like the thing I do, it's like you have to get dressed at work, do all this PP and all these extra measures that they only take a few seconds or minutes of your day, but all of that added up, it's just more effort to your day than you would normally do. And then you're getting changed before you leave, which you wouldn't normally do. I'm finding myself like rushing around more than I would usually to get other
Make sure
things
get
done.
everything sorted.
Not just, I mean, it sounds really dramatic. You're only putting masks on and stuff. How is that taking over your day? But the amount that you have to do it, and it's a good thing.
Well, it's like we
It's just
spoke about
that they
going out,
still
isn't it?
expect you to be there on time and to do everything to the, exactly
you
the
did
way you
before.
used to, and it's just not as easy.
Mm.
Depending on what part of the healthcare sector you're in, you can only have so many people in a room. Obviously family members want to be there for certain times when it's to do with someone's health, and you're having to tell them no. It's been hard, emotionally and physically draining. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got other things going on and health issues and myself going on anyway, so that's kind of why I've pulled back a bit from streaming. I'm still doing it. I still want to do it. But I mean, I
Priorities,
found out
man.
I'm really anemic right now as well, so I'm just super tired.
Ticking all the boxes there, loving it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
you got
literally everything.
you got the
was going
bingo
on.
board, didn't you? Jeez.
I know, literally.
Yeah.
Full house.
I was like, I thought I'm probably just stressed and run down, but I'll ask the doctor to run some blood tests anyway, because then after a chat they wanted to, and yeah, I'm severely anemic again. So
Great.
it sucks. But I'm trying to find like a good thing that's come out of this. The only good thing is that like I'm in the process of trying to move and get a bigger house with where the kids don't have to share a room and stuff. So that's cool.
As a rent, yeah, I just
good.
think as a rentee, house prices crashing. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Cheaper rent for me.
Yeah, I found the rent's gone up, but
Oh, really?
I'm still.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I have found the rent gone up. To be honest, because not even last year, probably like even just 6 months ago, the rent prices were a bit cheaper than they are now.
But I was thinking,
scammy bastards.
I mean, sorry, Toast?
No, I was just saying, like, Sarup, what have you been working in? I know you've been streaming, but I mean, have you been working from home or have you been going in? What have you been doing?
So.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm reading it.
I know. Oh, I know. Okay, good.
So, I'm currently I'm still currently employed at the moment. I can't go into too much details, but I'm currently not working just now for reasons that and maybe in the next couple of weeks I'll maybe share in a fun manner when it can't be used against me in a disciplinary hearing.
Makes sense.
When it's broadcast live. But the moment I've been sort of at home, I'm still getting paid, I'm still doing this and that and the next thing. So I have been working on YouTube, on streaming, on trying to do that, and spending as much time as I can with my girlfriend. It's been kind of tough at the moment just now because of the work situation. We're going to have to move out of this flat within the next 6 months, which kind of sucks because the landlord's selling it.
Right, okay.
So-
Yeah, it's not your choice then, really.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
kind of bollocks. And I had toothache, so it's like,
Damn it.
so it's all that shit, and it's it's funny because then you have all these sort of things coming along at once, and all the shit that we were talking about that's going on in the wider world, and that's when you need the people around you to support, to help support you, and for you to support them the most. And no worries, Boris, you are a legend.
Bye, Boris.
I need to go on Twitch
Bye,
when you can
Boris.
hear
Thank you,
stuff.
Joya, by the
Catch you
way.
later, Boris.
Take it easy.
Boris.
Borish.
Boris.
And having my girlfriend there has been amazing. Like she's been so good. We went for a little walk. We went for a little holiday up north, up to the Highlands. And
I was going to say, you're already north. How can you get north?
We went further north.
Norther.
Proper
The
north.
wet bit.
Proper no.
And we got like a nice little Highland cottage and stuff, and spent a few days up there. Yeah, no, it was lovely. Yeah. Ooh. McLeod's like, that
Was there a hot tub?
There was a hot tub. Oh, I'll tell you a story of the hot tub. Right. Here's a story.
Oh no.
So,
Is it PG?
Is
it okay?
Hang on.
Sorry, it's my stream. We'll see what I like. So it was about 10:30 at night, and we were like, right, bottle of champagne in the hot tub. Let's do it. So we went in the hot tub. Right, sit there, chilling out, having a couple of glasses of champagne. And now the garden backed onto like it's just basically a big field, right? And so it was like pitch black. You know when you're in the proper country where it's just dark, like real dark.
There's no lights.
No light.
Whatsoever.
So it was. We were in this garden, this hot tub, and the hot tub had lights, and that was all cool. And then suddenly we just heard this noise. And I was like, it sounds like a motorbike.
Okay.
Sounds like a motorbike. And you were like, all right. And then it got closer and closer and closer and closer, right? And we were like, what the fuck? And then you heard it.
And you're like half
and then,
naked in the hot tub.
and then it stopped, right? And now and it stopped bloody close. Like it was literally where the fence was to the field. It was like the other side of it, but we couldn't see it because it was pitch black. And so we turned the lights off in the hot tub, right? But just before he got there anyway, and this motorbike just stopped. And there was silence, and all you could hear was like the engine ticking over because it stopped. It was cooling down.
Yeah.
But we
His
didn't hear
touch
any.
sound effects.
We didn't hear any footsteps. We didn't hear him get off the bike. We heard no movement at all,
Okay.
and it just sat there
freaky.
for about 5 minutes or something, or maybe a couple of minutes, and we were just like, "The fuck is this, bro,
Hello?
dude?" And I was just like. I was
I like the way you did it in the
"Man."
accent as well. Hello.
I was just like, shit.
Hello, laddie, you
I was like, I can't be
help.
you want a
chasing
dip?
after a guy in my in the attire I'm currently wearing. This isn't going to work at all.
It's your birthday suit.
And I was like, oh god. So then suddenly, like, I think we said something, and suddenly the engine started again, and he drove off. Right. No, and the guy didn't have any lights on or anything, by the way. Right. So there was no, we couldn't see.
What the hell?
Yeah, no lights, no nothing. And so the next day I was like, fuck. So I was like, I'm going to tell the owner, right? Because you never know. That he might have had some issues with people in the fields or whatever, right? So I told the guy, and I was like, all right, man. So this happened, and he was like, oh yeah, oh that must be Willie. And I was like,
Did you warn us
Okay.
about Willie?
Willie?
Who's Willie?
Who's Willie? I was like,
I'm
that'll be
man,
Willie. And he's like, yeah. So I mean, the simple explanation was he goes, oh yeah, he's had problems with foxes, and he's the farmer, and so he goes out and he stops and he sees if he can hear them or whatever, so he can track them because they come out at night because they've been attacking his chickens and his sheep and all sorts of stuff, right? So
Okay.
he says he probably didn't even know you were there. He says, you'd be glad you didn't see him. You couldn't see him. I was like, how? And he's like, because he would have had a shotgun with him.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine? You're sat relaxing in the hot tub. And there's a
That's
guy
bad.
with a shotgun on a
It's this
motorcycle.
guy next to you.
I mean, he must
Was
have
he
Arnold
been.
binoculars
Schwarzenegger
looking
style on
at
a
you?
motorbike
He'd
with a
have been
shotgun.
about the distance would have been about what 25 feet maybe, right, from where we
What?
were. And like obviously it was proper pitch black, and I was saying to
No
my
foxes, but
girlfriend,
a couple
I
screaming
was
in a
like,
hot tub.
could you imagine if like he'd seen a fox or heard a fox and he didn't know we were there and he just shot it, and we
shot
just
it.
suddenly
Yeah, yeah. Straight through the jacuzzi.
Motherfucker. Like, yeah, it would have been absolutely
foxes.
mental. Yeah,
Oh
because
my
he was having
God,
cat girls
that's
like you.
mental.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it was. I can't even remember where that joke came from. Where did we have that joke? Was it on stream yesterday? It might have been. But yeah,
no.
so that scared the shit out of us. But apart from that, it was
Oh,
lovely.
God.
Like apart from that,
It
it was
sounds
lovely.
mint. Sounds
But yeah, I've
Apart
been.
from, apart from the fox murdering farmer, it was great.
Yeah, it was great. So we went up sort of up some mountains or a bit of a mountain, The Photoshop. Oh, of course, the Photoshop. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, it was fan art. That's what that was.
You had fan art.
Somebody made me
Have
look like a
fan art?
cat.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Can
Okay,
you
okay.
DM me that later?
Yeah,
I
well,
know,
yeah.
right?
Um,
Thanks.
Just straight up
Right.
WhatsApp me it, mate.
Yeah.
Let's cut out the middleman here.
I think it's somebody's profile picture now, I think. But yeah, so that was that. And apart from that, I've just been making sort of some YouTube videos and playing WoW, enjoying WoW, a couple of other bits and pieces, and just enjoying my life on YouTube. The YouTube crowd has been good. If you've not followed, liked, and
Good.
subscribed, please do now. You don't follow on YouTube. I fucked it already. I'm used to hanging around with you Twitch knobs. But there we go. Mac.
Well, that's interesting. You don't do that plead that every other YouTuber does. That let's beat not the system. What do they call it? The
Algorithm.
Let's beat the algorithm, guys. It's like
Remember, put
you don't
the
do that
bell on
plead.
the
You're not into that.
Well, like, you've got to play the game. You can't win if you don't play
Yeah.
the game. But
Okay.
no, you
Okay.
don't do it quite to the same extent. It's because I was saying to you guys before, it's YouTube is a different animal to Twitch. In terms of what the user base is like. Everybody's got a YouTube account, right? But not everybody's got a Twitch account. So you've got people from a variety of different sort of backgrounds and needs, and they have YouTube for different reasons. Not everybody's a gamer, right? Like they are on Twitch pretty much. So you've got to kind of sort of think about that, and people value their subscription to a YouTube channel much more highly than somebody does their follow to a Twitch channel, which is essentially the same thing. It's much easier. I found it much easier to get followers on Twitch than it is subs on YouTube.
So basically, what you're saying is Twitch is a cheap whore, and YouTube is the girlfriend.
That's
YouTube,
why I like Twitch so much.
YouTube, you take home to your mum.
Yeah.
You take
Okay,
YouTube
I
home
see
to
it,
your
yeah.
mum. But
What I achieved here, it's real.
Twitch, Twitch, you wouldn't, yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I still like Twitch, and I would probably go back to it maybe one day. But we'll just have to see how it
I
goes.
to
don't
see
know.
the
I could
shit
make
show.
I could make my debut with the ASMR more on YouTube, probably.
You do considerably better, by the way.
Are you gonna get with the microphones? What, like an ear? And you're
Yeah, where I
talking
just
to it,
start tapping on the.
Obviously.
tapping on the
No.
microphone.
It's the kissing of it one. That's weird.
Oh, that
Dude, this
girl's
isn't
weird.
licking it too.
Pornhub, man. Now
Yeah.
where are we going now with this? What
Where we're going is so I don't have to talk
I'll
about what I
That's
have on
just where
stream.
you
That's where I'm
wanted
going
to
with
go.
this.
No one was going that
I'll
way
send
with
you a
it
link,
except
Sarid.
you, Saru.
Suddenly you were kissing microphones. So what else is it going to be?
Yeah,
It just got dark real quick.
went straight from ASMR to licking other
Fucking.
things.
I can't. I
Yeah.
can't aim. Are you trying to pee at
Service
the same time,
service
Cal?
as normal has resumed.
Yeah. So what about you, Mac? What have you been
Hang on a
up
minute.
to?
Callum
No-
goes,
What?
"Oh, I can't aim."
He tries to.
I can't aim.
He's trying to pee while watching the stream.
Trying to pee. it just it makes him laugh.
That is-
Oh no, it's off to the side.
As every guy
It's all over
knows,
my feet.
sometimes that can be an issue, depending on how
Yes,
aroused you are.
lady.
So Callum, you probably
Yes,
need to go and chill
ma'am.
out and listen to somebody else other than myself. No Warzone, for fuck's sake. Oh yeah, because we would have totally got that. Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
I thought he meant
Jesus.
aiming of another liquid, but
Yeah, no, it's like trying to
My
hit
back was
Toasty's
awesome.
face is difficult.
But no,
So Mac, what have you been doing in content creation land?
So
Anyway,
Upon-
moving on.
upon returning back from England after I'd been to what I thought was going to be the third world, but actually was a much better place than the one I live in. I did stream. I did stream for like
Single tier.
about 2 days. Yeah, and then I got ill, and I thought, fuck, I've gone and got COVID. I was really worried about it, and then I got all of the wrong symptoms. I managed to go on holiday and I got the wrong virus in the middle of a pandemic. So
wow.
yeah, that's the kind of look I have in life. So so I was ill for about a week with that, and it was I still don't know
Not
quite what
COVID.
it was. No, it just knocked me out though. It was it took all my energy.
Ooh,
But
On
it's not
the,
like I wanted to go out anyway, so I effectively self-isolated. Sorry, say what was that, Ellen?
No, I was just going to say on the back of the COVID thing, I've actually just received a letter today to ask me if I want to be part of a COVID antibodies study. So they want to test my blood to see if I've had any antibodies. Because I haven't been tested positive. I haven't tested positive for COVID at all. But they want to check my blood. I've been randomly
Don't give it to the
selected.
government. Don't do it.
Don't.
No.
They will.
They'll
When they
clone
take
want
it,
you.
they'll be
Like
putting
12
it. They'll be
Ellies
putting a
coming out
chip
with
in.
They're gonna
When
clone
they put
Tory
that needle
versions
in
of you.
you.
Well, I just thought it was interesting because they're clearly gathering evidence. Well, not evidence, but they're gathering like numbers to see who's potentially been exposed to COVID without knowing it. So that's interesting.
To answer your question, Squire, so that's something that you've got to think of slightly differently on YouTube as well. So on Twitch, your content is essentially what you do at the time. So while you're streaming, that's what matters, is getting the viewers in then, the subs and the 4 cents bits and all those sort of stuff at the time. And then once you hit end stream, you're done, right? That's kind of you. YouTube's slightly different. You've got to think more about like, okay, if I'm doing this and how we're doing it, can I sort of package this or keep it, is this stream sort of watchable in its entirety or bits and pieces of it afterwards? Because the difference is, yes, you have VODs on Twitch, but on YouTube, it actually counts for something, right? So on
That's
YouTube,
true,
the amount of time that somebody then spends watching something after it's been live, that counts just as much as the people that watch it now. So, we might have, a dozen or so people now, I think we had between 12 and 20 watching, so far it's kind of going up and down. That doesn't matter to me, really. As many people as can. It's more about, okay, how then searchable is it afterwards? For example, right, there was a new patch out in World of Warcraft. It was the pre-patch that was yesterday. And so we had the pre-patch launch thing where we went through not that there's much content just now, but that's another story. We went through all the bits and pieces, how the classes work, other few bits and pieces, and that was fine, and we had quite a bit of viewership there. But again, that's not what mattered. It was since then. So since yesterday, we've had another 45, 50 people that have actually watched it, at least 45 minutes of it, each of them,
Okay.
and so that counts towards your goals of becoming then a YouTube partner. So it's like, for example, if your VODs, the viewers on there counted as a viewer while you were live towards you becoming a Twitch partner.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense.
So
Okay,
it makes a difference. And then obviously there's videos and stuff on top of that I'm kind of making, and I had one that kind of it was funny. And the analytics on YouTube are so much better to actually look at where things are coming from. One video I made that I think I got about 600 views or something so far, and I looked at it, and there was a thread up about it on 4chan, right? That people were talking about. Somebody had written a blog about it. Right, literally, like it goes, I've just found this, and they had this, and then they were chatting about it, and obviously people were then linking to it through there, and all this sort of stuff. So that's what's cool, and it's fun trying to work out what keywords you should be using, how you should be writing your descriptions, how your thumbnails should be, and all that. So yeah, that was quite a long-winded answer, Squire, but it's not just about viewership. It's about trying to provide something that's quite interesting, quite educational. Rob, how you doing, son?
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
And taking it from there, and I think Twitchers kind of tend to see it as such a big jump. So you guys that don't know, to become an affiliate on Twitch, oh man, I'm gonna piss some people off here. There's a lot of people on Twitter and
including
on
us?
Discord. Probably. Twitch, on Twitter, Twitch, and on Discord channels that make this big song and dance about becoming an affiliate. Okay, and that's cool. Everybody's got their goals and they need to get there. But don't pretend it's something that it's not. Right? It's not hard. It just takes a bit of time. That's it. Either you'll be lucky and you'll get it within a week or so, or you'll be unlucky and it'll take a couple of months, right? And yeah, but you'll get there, and in the nicest possible way. And this isn't directed at anybody here, but it doesn't matter how good or dog shit your content is, you'll get affiliate eventually, right? because you need 50 followers, 3 concurrent viewers, and you've got to stream, was it 7 days out of 28 or something like that? Yeah, something like that.
Which is
You'll get it, right? And that's fine. That's cool. And then you can start taking subs and all this sort of stuff. But it doesn't matter. Your content, you don't need. My point is, you don't need to look at yourself and think, how can I make my content better? You're just going to get it anyway. To get affiliate, to get partner, and then it's tough. You need 75 concurrent viewers and blah 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 blah. YouTube works slightly differently. So for those that don't know, you don't really get an affiliate as such. So you can't, to be monetized on YouTube, you just go straight to partner. And to become partner, you need 1,000 subs, and you need 4,000 hours of watch time within a calendar year. Okay, and that seems like folk are like, motherfucker, that's a lot, and it is. But to me, it's like, actually, that's a much better challenge, and but yet still achievable. And it's more in my hands, because I can think about my content. I can think, all right, okay, that video was a bit shit. How can I make this one better? What can I do to make that one a little bit more attractive? You can see where people are watching your video, and when suddenly they drop off, and you go, all right, what point in the video was that where people stopped watching it? And you look at it and you go,
that's cool.
oh yeah, that was a bit shit. I'd probably stop watching there too, so I'll maybe change that for the next one. So you feel like you're achieving more rather than just, hey guys, I'm live and I'm going to be playing Fortnite again, and that's it. And then eventually a couple of your pals come on, you get 3 concurrent viewers, and then you have an affiliate celebration stream with another 2 viewers, right? You know what I mean? It's like, come on. Like, it's...
I know what you mean, though, yeah.
I mean, it's nice to have goals and things, and if that's your goal, that's fine. But again, it's just, from my point of view, it's don't pretend it's something that it's not.
What's right with Fortnite, Callum?
And to Callum, the answer is a lot.
What's wrong with Fortnite? Not much, and that's the problem. Actually, that's the problem. That's this. No, yeah.
Really?
There's not much. Well, it's become massively successful for reasons that there's not much
because it's for
wrong with it.
children.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's right with it, and that's why it's done so well.
Yeah,
I don't like it, and I wish it didn't exist. But
Yeah.
if there was a lot wrong with it, it wouldn't be as popular as it was, unfortunately.
That's true.
We'll do that for a twist.
Did not expect that one.
It's not the PvE game that was originally shown. I don't know. I didn't watch the original trailer for it and get hyped about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why it's like, and so yeah, YouTube's much more worth in terms of discoverability and people actually finding you. And so far, I found some awesome people, on YouTube and things. That
I've been wanting to do it, but mine wouldn't be like what the kind of stuff I do on Twitch, because obviously Twitch is just video game type stuff.
Yeah.
The reason that I was interested in doing a YouTube video and still haven't is for the endometriosis stuff. So like more of a diagnosis journey type thing.
Wow, right.
I've started to vlog my. I've started to vlog my symptoms and like little bits of my journey, but I haven't put any videos together yet. And obviously with COVID, I would have probably ended up putting those videos out and having a YouTube channel and stuff, but I haven't because I haven't had the surgery I was supposed to have and all of that stuff.
I mean, but
that was more informative, because I obviously searched for those videos and I'm like, well, no one's answering this question that I have, like, and it's like, from my perspective, I want to put out there the things that I was wondering and I now know that other people are probably going to be wondering.
The thing is, you said you didn't because you didn't have the surgery that you were due. That almost should push you to do it more, because
I know
at least then
a few
it's
people
like,
have said that.
It's like, well, the fact you haven't is something to talk about, because you won't be the only one that'll be going through that, and I'll maybe need support in that sort of aspect when they're maybe built themselves up for a surgery or in some form or manner and then not had it. That's certainly something that's worth talking about and discussing.
It sounds like
there is power in it, not just being you.
that
you can get from that.
That's true. I guess it's that, and it's a little bit of nerves, because I don't usually do that. I mean, I talk with you guys like this, and but there's always like a video game or other people. This would be just something that's just me
to a camera
talking about.
Like to be honest, I do remember the change to the I do remember the change to the affiliate show in me. Like, I thought this would be fine. I do Twitch, I do whatever, and I talk to my 2 people
My audience of 4.
and this will be fine. And it is different without that game because it's a big distraction from your face. I mean, that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, don't do stupid things.
I'm
Stop
like
putting my hand
media
here.
orientated.
You know.
Because
Yeah.
a AAA, because there's been a AAA game publisher that's created the content for you.
Yeah.
You know, they've
basically.
that's what they've done. So you fall back on it, and on something like this, and on certain YouTube videos, you become the content, and
Yeah.
and it's a thing where it's strange, especially with gamers, how a lot of people are sort of shy little neckbeards that live in their basement, right? Not all, but I know that's the stereotype, and people aren't necessarily. I've had a bit of a shave, so I'm not so bad under there.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, you too. I can tell you look smooth.
Waxed.
But it's I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so it's a case of people aren't normally that outgoing and that brave to do these sorts of things anyway, and it takes a lot of balls because you look at it and it was like I looked at one and I had like. You know, you check it and you're like, oh, look, I've had loads of views on that, and about 30 odd likes. That's cool. And then you're like, I've had 1 dislike.
Like,
Yeah.
what could you do
Who
wrong?
the fuck was that? And you're like, motherfucker. How dare I want to find? How do I find them? So you Google, how do you find out who disliked my video?
Disliked my YouTube
What
You're
is
like,
this?
how do I find this prick? I'm going on the dark web. I'm going to get a hitman. How do I? And I'm not YouTube. I'm kidding, right? That's not. Scrap that bit. All right. I'm kidding, right? Don't send me back to
One sec, the stream's
Bezos.
gonna fly.
Yeah. But yeah, it affects you because as human beings, we look at the negatives much more strongly than we do the positives. So yeah, my point
That's
is you
the
might
thing, and I
get.
don't think I'm prepared for that yet. Like, I'm a media-orientated person. I'm usually behind the camera. I don't like being in front of it and having to talk. And I do talk. I talk a lot, but it's the fact that you can watch it back, and I'm like, "Ugh." You know,
Yeah.
the VODs only last so long, and then
Twitch
YouTube's
isn't
like,
there
forever.
forever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like I'll do videos and I'll be like, I have made, I would say about 4 or 5 videos for YouTube that I've just not put up because I've watched it and I'm going, that's bollocks. I don't like it. And there's maybe a couple up there now that I'm like, like a couple of my older ones that I was like, I don't really like them now. But then I'm thinking, well, no, this is going to show my progression for me, like how I progressed as somebody that could talk to a camera, for somebody that can edit videos, for somebody that can do effects and all this, because that's where I want to sort of go and do anyway. So that kind of helps me a little bit, and it is a bit of an escape from all that shit, you know. But it does take some, but it's a lot of these advice things and tips on YouTube and this, that, it all comes down to one thing. You've just got to do it. You've just got to make that video.
Yeah.
And then make another one, and then make another one, and then just keep doing it. And that'll come. And
Mine
eventually,
was mainly because it's like I want to help people going through the same situation, and I want to be able to answer those questions. Like, I've had so many questions that I'm like, oh, well, just there must be a YouTube video on this somewhere, and it's not quite what I want. So yeah, it's I definitely want to do it. It's just like you said, pulling that trigger.
Then that's it. Then that's the case of once you pull that trigger, and then once you start answering those questions, that you've got your reason for wanting to do it. It's about helping people. So viewership, partnership, all this other shit doesn't matter.
I don't care about
it doesn't matter.
It's most and for me, it's like not even like a journey thing for me. It's mostly so that I can accept what's happening as well. Like, that's why I've tracked it. So even though it's not on YouTube, I've tracked it for myself as well. So it's kind of like but it was always with the intention of helping people that are in my situation where you just can't find the answers you're looking for, or there's not enough of different people's experiences of being on a certain drug and whatever, and it's things like that I want to put out there because I just wish there was more content of it to look at.
There you go.
So
There's a really good
Watch the
tool
space.
that I use called vidIQ. Oh, thank you. I've got a cup of tea brought for me. That
Well,
was
you're
lovely.
going to think I'm a total idiot now because look at that, brew on tap.
All right.
No, you're
Just
gonna,
quickly,
you're gonna think I'm real
which make
stupid
of
for
tea?
not doing it.
I think
Oh, yeah.
it's Tetley's, mate. I think it's just standard Tetley's.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry, it's not
disappointing. Anyway.
So this is
You'll
by
Let's move
me
on.
leaving the affiliate show, guys.
No, I was going to say
Sorry,
on the editing front and like cameras and stuff, like I literally have a degree in it, and like my partner still does professionally edit videos and stuff. So I literally don't have an excuse other than I don't do it. Like we have proper editing software
Yeah.
and cameras and clip mics and lights. Like I literally have all of it, but I just haven't yet. And
Well-
it's like time. I want to be able to commit to it properly. I want to have enough content to slowly feed
Put
it
it
like
out.
once a week or
Yeah.
something, and then I'll get a question and I can work on that video. I just want to build it a little bit before I start putting it out there.
And you see,
guess.
so I'm going to jump in here because I don't know if that is a stumbling block or not, because I'm there. Because and I've never said this publicly, so this has been an exclusive. I've just had a look. I have 225 gigabytes of footage right now sitting in a folder, and I also have my holiday vlogged. I went and bought a mirrorless camera. I'm planning on making that push into YouTube as well. And my thinking is exactly the same lines as you, as I want content that I can drip feed out to start with. And I don't know if that's going to be the stumbling block for me as well, because it's another way, like you're talking about it there, for me to put it off. Well, haven't I done it yet? Well, I'm just getting another one ready so that
Yeah.
it can go out, and then another one can go
Yeah.
out.
I found that once you put one out and you get a few people and you get a little bit of traction on it and some people start watching it and you suddenly realize, all right, that's working, you feel a little bit more pressure to get the next one out. When you've got nothing out
Yeah.
there, you've got nobody waiting for anything, you know. Doc, how's it going, my friend?
Hey,
Uh,
dog.
Doc.
You know, so it's once I've got one out, then I'm like, right, I need to get another one out. Okay, now I'm starting to think about another one. Like I'll stay awake and I'll be thinking about ideas. Like I'll be lying in bed, or I'll be just be, you know, sitting and I'm like, oh, I've got an idea, and then that'll suddenly consume me, and I'll start to right, I'll think about that. How do I do it? And my ideas tend to be bigger than my current editing and animation abilities, but I then I'll start
See,
to
that, like-
learn it. You know, I'll
yeah.
start to learn it and try to figure that out. And even whether it's just like one I put out because it was the end of, I say, the expansion for World of Warcraft, and I just had an idea for something because there's gear you get in WoW that people don't like, right? Up until like 2 days ago, right? And I decided, and it's just literally a 30-second video of my character walking up and just throwing it all in a fire and it exploding, right? That was, and it just says like, you know, goodbye corrupted gear, have a good pre-patch, everyone. That was it, and that you know, that's about what 80 something views, something like that, you know, and it starts growing and it starts picking up, and that's just, it's just out there. It's just something else. It's just sort of doing.
Yeah.
So it's I
Submit
thought
in the
about that.
guess I
circle of
feel-
YouTube, like. getting
I feel
passed
like I'd
around,
be putting too much pressure on as well to get them edited
Oh,
because I'm a very slow editor now. I used to be really quick, but
Yeah.
my partner does their channels Inside the Toy Room, so it's like reviews of
Plug.
toy collections and stuff, as in like plug. But no, it is, and they do it like they do weekly content. So I'd be like, can you also edit my shit, please? Like, because I'm too slow, I wouldn't be able to get it out on time.
Yeah,
So there's like all these hurdles, and I do feel like I'm putting them in front of myself. I don't need to have that many hurdles, really, but
I think that's what it
It'll
is,
get
and I think
done.
that's what everyone says is just sort of do it. And even if, do you know what, even if you put one out and it was 3 weeks, a month before your next one, who cares? You know?
I
Yeah,
regularly
true.
watch YouTube channels that put out a video a month.
Yep.
Like there's a coder I like watching, and coding takes a long time. He does a lot of AI stuff because I'm a nerd. I like that, and he's also very funny. But you know, he's there on my sub list, and I'm waiting there, and I'm waiting in anticipation. It doesn't annoy me. Well, I mean, it's YouTube, and I'm a millennial, and I like things to be instant, so it does annoy me. But not enough for me to not go and watch him again. You know, I'm just waiting in anticipation for what he's going to do next, what he's going to make an AI do.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
So it's
What he thinks AI do.
also plug.
yeah, also, but it's a good thing is what Elle said there. You know, she's got a reason why she wants to do it. She's got a focus. She's got a motivation, and that's kind of all it really takes. You know, I'm doing it because I'm starting to quite enjoy the process of it, like streaming as well. That's why I started it. I kind of enjoyed the process of putting together these overlays and the technical side of it. And how do I make that work? How can I get 4 cameras on a screen? How can I make that guy's head move in that way on an animation thing? In fact, if I want them all sitting, how do all those masks work? How does this work? Premiere Pro, that's a thing. Let's figure that out. And all that sort of stuff. After Effects, right? Okay, that's bullshit, but let's figure it out. And so I've kind of done that.
After Effects.
After Effects is not bullshit. It's phenomenal, but man,
I love
hurdle.
After Effects.
It's a hurdle, like it's a hurdle, but it's a new skill. It's something else that you pick up and you start tinkering with. And if you get the odd asshole that's like you're shit, and I'll be like, "Fuck you, motherfucker."
I'm trying.
Yeah, you try not to take it too seriously,
Yeah.
But it's tough because you're putting everybody's sort of putting themselves out there a little bit and like giving a little bit of themselves to their audience and to the internet, really. You can't, it's like streaming on YouTube, you can't hide yourself forever. You can't always be this fake person. The more you do it, people will see through that. Doc, sure, consistently putting out videos could help with the algorithm, but is it worth it if it's not the best content that you could put out? Sadly, no. It's sad. Well, no, sadly, yes. Sadly, yes, it is worth
Kind
it.
of it.
Sadly, yes,
I was
it
going
is
to say,
worth it.
you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
No, because Sue was saying earlier
Yeah.
that there have been videos that he's canned because he didn't think they were up to.
But it was
up to
probably,
scratch.
but in terms of their algorithm, it probably still would have been worth doing because,
Oh, really?
yeah, it's the way. Thank you very much for your sub, buddy.
Oh, sorry, I misread the question.
Yeah, it is the way. So, and I've been doing. I love stats, right? I love stats. Anybody that knows me knows that I love a
Stonks.
stat. That I love data, and I like looking at it all, and I like listening to people like Devin Nash and other YouTube content
Devin
creator
Nash,
people that talk about the more analytical side of it. And essentially, the biggest parts of your whole YouTube video is your thumbnail and your title and description. And they're about 50-60% of it. Your actual content's only about 30%, if that, of what
That's
matters.
crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as much. It really doesn't, because it's about getting people through the door in the first place. And it's about getting that your click rate up.
Interesting.
It's about getting all that sort of stuff up. That's why clickbait exists, right? If it was about good content,
Yes,
that wouldn't
I've
exist.
learned a lot about click. Right.
That's why do you think all my thumbnails have big yellow text on it? Because yellow apparently is the one that gets people clicking on it.
Oh, well, that's bad.
Oh,
I can't do it.
And I've
Insider
noticed
tips.
that it really annoys me, but I do it every time. Is I see like a question in the thumbnail, and then the question isn't answered at all in the video, or it's
because
some
you watch all the way through,
subject,
looking for when
and
they're
then
going
you
to get
watch
to
all the
it.
way through.
Yeah.
That really annoys me.
Yeah, and that's what it is. You've already clicked on it. You've already done that. And that's it.
You're there. Might as well.
So yes and no is kind of the answer to it. People that will subscribe to you. On the other hand, that'll be because of your content. So that's what you need to do. But listening to any of the sort of big YouTubers, if you listen to like say, the really big ones, the mega ones, your Mr. Beasts and your PewDiePies and all this sort of stuff, there's no point in taking tips from them. Like genuinely, from what I've seen and because they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, they can release a 4-second video and still get as many views.
When I
as
say
it does
listening
if
to
it is a
tips from
10-minute
them, when I say taking tips from, of course take tips from them, but don't look at their content and think I need to make the same type of stuff. Like my
'cause it
thumbnail
does
needs
not
to
matter for them
my
now.
my thumbnail needs to look the same. I should do the same types of descriptions.
They're the
and titles.
Kardashians of YouTube.
Yeah, they don't matter. Like they don't need to, the algorithm will deal with them
though.
anyway. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's like,
Everybody
here's
else
a
has to work
Kardashian
through
sitting in the
different-
living room
Guys,
doing
I
nothing.
believe
Let's watch it.
I've been informed we do have maybe a slight delay. Where did you go?
Sorry,
Just-
camera's dead. Give me a sec. I'm coming.
No.
I believe we've got a slight delay on
Technical
the
difficulties.
on the stream anyway in terms of our syncing.
Yeah, it's
I'm trying to fix
about
that.
7. Well, 7 seconds to live anyway. I think is
but I
the,
think the
is the delay
sync's a
to
little bit
load.
out. But if it's sorry about
Oh,
that,
no.
but not much you can do about it just now. It's just Discord being a cunt. Yeah, so it's funny. YouTube is a funny beast, but your thumbnail is bigger than your content, or at least equal to it. At least equal to it. You know, as I do like looking at the stats. I like looking at the impressions, how things have worked out, stuff like hashtags. You'll see at the start of a lot of YouTube channels now, you actually get to put 3 hashtags in. So they're massive for the algorithm, and all that sort of stuff. So you'll see all that. So it's tough.
Oh,
but
I see
it's,
that. So you've got hashtag streaming, hashtag podcast. Is it that?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know about the keywords.
So you're limited
and
to 3.
Yeah, 3 hashtags.
Right.
How do they differ from the keywords?
They are just ranked higher. So it's just it just takes it higher.
So they're more for like trending things.
Yeah.
But then
yeah.
the keywords are like what people would actually search for.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a really good tool. So if anybody is going on YouTube and starting to do stuff, there's a really good tool called vidIQ, VIDIQ, and it is an add-on to your browser. And when you go onto YouTube, essentially what it'll do is it'll tell you everything about that video, like what its click-through rate is, what its tags that it's using. What you can then do is if you search for something on YouTube, say I search for McLeod's fabulous mustache, right, in YouTube. It'll tell me.
As you would.
It'll give it a score, right, out of 100, as to basically what that score means is it worth making a video out of it, and that's because it'll do it based on it'll show you the competition, so it'll say there's shitloads of competition for that. It'll tell you how the volume of searches for it, how many times people are searching for it, and it'll tell you what the best channels that are currently showing that content are. So you can look at that. So if you put in like a keyword or a search term, and you're like, okay, there's a high volume of people searching for it, but the competition is actually really low because not many people are actually making videos about it. It means there's demand there.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
You know?
That's quite cool.
So you can use that.
Nice,
That's like one of the first things that I'll do. That's when I went to, for any of the WoW guys out there that saw my pull the ripcord video, the first thing I done is I typed into YouTube pull the ripcord. It's a meme in the WoW community for what you get, you guys. I'll not go in it, but it's a bit of a meme. So I put that in there. But there wasn't much in the way of videos that were dedicated to that, but it was searched for a lot. So I made a video for that, and now it became somebody blogged about it. It was being on 4chan, and it got 600 views. You know, so it's like there you go. You know,
nice, right? Okay, yeah, it's finding that niche, isn't it?
Yeah, And 600 views isn't a lot for a YouTube channel, but for a YouTube channel that had next to no subscribers when it started, that was good. You know, for me, that was good. You know,
of course, yeah.
So that's the sort of stuff
That's
you
the
want to
thing
look
I
for.
noticed when I was looking up the stuff like on the subject that I was looking into. You'd sort of see that these, and it's literally just like women talking to a camera. There's no effects, there's no transitions, there's no like intro music. It's literally just them talking about their experience, and there's like thousands of views, and they don't have like loads of videos that they've uploaded. It's just like 1 or 2, maybe like a person count type thing. But they've got a ton of views because people have been wanting to know that information.
And you're just wanting that information.
It's interesting.
You know, if you especially if it's something medical, you're not wanting somebody that's got all these fancy transitions and some sad violin playing in the background. You know, it's you want the information. You don't want it to be satirized in any way. You know, or made into something that you're like, oh, am I to be pitied? Am I to be this? Is this what is, or belittling? That's probably the better word. You don't want your content to appear like that. So that's not what really people are looking for. So it's dependent on your content. It seems like that's, you know, different strokes for different folks, right?
Yeah.
You know, but it's been good. It's been weird. Like sometimes I'll make one and I'll go, how come that X video, you're like, that's been shown on the homepage like 450 times, you know, but why did that one get shown on the homepage once? You know, and you're like, how did that
the rhyme or reason?
Yeah, and you try to figure it out.
No meaning. It's like flip a coin, right? That's going to do well today.
I mean, this came from Squire talking about viewership, you know, all that time ago. But it's meant that there's been more to think about being on YouTube than there has been on Twitch. On Twitch, you didn't have to
Yeah.
think about jack apart from going, thanks for those bits, and Twitch Prime. So I just
Why didn't you do
felt
it, bro?
personally that I wanted more from what I considered a hobby. I wanted to be able to find,
Yes.
to look for more, and to be able to be more in control of how my content and how my hobby worked out. I think that. Hope that explains it, Squire. After an hour.
Sorry, I'm confused. How is viewership on YouTube?
So
Well,
how it starts.
I don't
is you
get
play-
it.
You
I don't
play
get
WoW,
it.
right?
You play WoW. Oh, we are.
You know, you need to play heroes and generals if you want to get views.
no,
oh.
you don't.
Yeah, but to be fair, that one day that I did play Heroes and Generals in Twitch and got raided however many people
yeah.
it was. And I was like,
80, wasn't
about
Was that? Is it
80
broken?
people.
I think it's broken.
And I was like, no, don't worry about it. It's probably broken. And they're like, no, there's people in here. They're talking to you. I'm like, no, it's broken.
What do you guys think about the
But
raid
yeah, that was
thing
just
on
because
Twitch
it was
now?
like, oh my gosh, H&G, and there's a female playing it. Ooh.
You don't get the notification popping up on Twitch anymore if it's under 5 years that raid you. What do you think?
Yeah.
Really?
How am I going to get my follow for follow buddies to notice that I supported them?
Exactly.
that's the problem
Fuck
with
those
it.
guys, right? I'm perfectly happy, as you can probably agree. I am perfectly fine with the fact that some 2 or 3 viewer Andy that raid somebody doesn't get like applauded for the fact that they've then sent 3 people, 2 of which have got
Thank
you
you.
on mute over there, right? It's fine. I'm cool with that.
Fine.
Fine. Fuck you guys. And if you had
Well, so, I mean, I
if
think
your content wasn't shitty, you'd have had more viewers to raid with.
See, I think for
Makes
me,
sense.
Twitch is more about like the community and stuff and fun, whereas I think the YouTube thing would be more for a purpose for me, if that makes sense.
And that's totally.
I mean, that's a
yeah.
purpose in itself, isn't it? Doing it for
Yeah.
fun and doing it to make friends and
So we're
whatever.
talking
Like,
about
"I need
different
friends,"
motivations.
but you know
innit?
what I mean. But yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube's almost the serious with an agenda
Yeah.
platform,
Like this,
I mean,
this
just
right
to-
now,
in my opinion.
this having the affiliate show on YouTube just now on my channel is probably not very good for my channel. Like,
All right.
you
You
know,
have to rename
Boring,
it.
really. That's why.
what all the advice that you get is you find what it is you're doing and you stick to that. You know, at the moment, my channel has been a gaming channel, and we've been playing games, we've been doing different bits and pieces, we've been doing reviews on certain games and all this. It was like we had Boris in earlier, and he's like, "What's this?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
going on here?" You know, he's a YouTube viewer. He's coming from WoW things, and he's watched a few of my things and commented on some stuff. But he's like, "I've never seen this. I don't know what this is." And you might lose subs for it. You might gain some from here, and then people will go, "Oh, I like that." But then suddenly they'll see a World of Warcraft video, and they'll be like, "I never subbed to a World of Warcraft channel." You know, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
but I do this because I enjoy it. So I enjoy talking to you guys and all that sort of stuff. They need to auto-join the hosted stream, otherwise you get no views and they stay in the host chat. Yeah, I know. Raids don't count anyway. Who cares?
I know, right?
They don't count to your partnership. They don't count to your affiliateship. Stop
Unless they stick
getting
around
all
the next
worked
time,
up.
right?
Fucking raids. Honestly.
I didn't. Tell us how you really feel, Saruk. Jeez.
I know,
Thanks,
right?
guys.
Bet-
All right.
Who
betting
are
design.
you going to raid after this, Saruk?
Who
We
are you
don't
going to
raid
raid
on YouTube.
Right, that's what I want to know.
We just turn it
know,
off and
right?
get on with our lives.
Who we raiding?
So the only problem I have with them making that change is they told no one about it. And lots of people came to
Oh,
me
yeah.
saying, "Why are all my alerts broken?" Like
Oh,
that's
so
that's what annoyed me.
You're
Yeah.
the IT guru.
I'm the
Yeah.
IT guy, and I had swathes of people asking me why their alerts aren't broken, or because
friends do
their
shit
so and so
content.
buddy raided them with 3 views, and they didn't get the clout. Sorry.
Fucking there's
They
no
didn't get the
clout.
clout
There's
they
two
should have
people.
had.
Right. They should have had, like.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like people who do announcement streams. I'm going to do a big announcement stream today, guys. You can't do an announcement to an empty room, all right? Stop it.
Announcing it to yourself.
Stop it.
Jeez.
Guys, I've got a
announcement, you
huge
too.
announcement tomorrow, right? Big one, guys. You're not gonna want to miss this. And then you turn up, there's 2 people there, and one of them's you, and the other one's your mum. Hi, mum, if you're watching. I know you do sometimes, but like, it's fucking stupid. Except for the accent, not those weirdos from Hull. Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
It's do you know what? It's like I'll start again. Callum, do you know what it is? Me being on this podcast and having these guys. It's like, remember when you used to be able to go out, right? It was like when you used to go out and you used to take a couple of ugly mates with you, so you always look like the hot one.
That's why I have these 3.
I'm joking. I love you, fuckers. But yeah, anyway,
Oh,
Twitch.
Yeah.
Even when I was on Twitch, and YouTube bugs me for that shit as well. Like, you know, when people have, I'm gonna do a video on thanking my 10 subs.
Thank you all.
Wow.
Are you gonna
really
do a
made us all
video
look
and
really pathetic?
It's not like, because everybody's great in their own way, but it's just a case of I think everybody that's making content needs to be, especially in the early days, needs to be a little bit more realistic about where we're at. Like we have a community that is surrounded by a few people and a few streamers and a few other content creators. They're all trying to do the same thing, and I think sometimes we get a little bit carried away with ourselves, you know, or some people get a little bit carried away with them. So we've all met some of them, you know, that you're like,
Oh yeah.
dude, you only get 4 viewers a month. What are you talking about?
A month.
Like, it's
Rob, I was here for the last affiliate check. Wow.
yeah, but yeah, man, this will be worth a
Eons ago.
fortune when I'm dead in about 45 minutes. But yeah, no, and I'm honestly not just trying to put people down for it, because it's folk are trying their fucking best. But I think there is a distinct lack of honesty in the community sometimes amongst small streamers and small content creators. I think we are far too. We find it much easier to suck each other's dicks, metaphorically speaking, than actually have an honest conversation and say, actually, I think it's because maybe your camera angle, it just looks weird and it kind of puts me off a little bit, so I kind of would turn away from that. You know, or stupid things or actually give proper criticism to people. Or say, well, actually, do you know what? It's your audio quality is scuffed. I don't, you know, I wouldn't watch that. Or what's up with that disgusting overlay? It's garish, you know, it's this, it's that. We don't have those conversations. We just go, just keep grinding, man. You'll get there. You'll be XQC in no time.
Yeah,
The
literally.
grind is real.
You just keep doing. You keep,
to grind.
Oh, and by the way, I have the Sith guard. It'll help you.
Yeah. Come
anytime
join
I
me.
see a tweet where
It's a pyramid
somebody's posted their latest stream stats from Twitch, and then it's like, get in there, guys, and it's like, oh no, not their latest, their road to affiliate, and it's like, get in there, guys, and it's like average viewers 0.3. You're like, come on, dude, just. And then folk are like, yeah, man, you're doing so good, and you're like, well, no, you're trying really hard, but you're not doing well.
No,
You're not.
No, you're not.
And it might not be your fault either. It might not be your fault, because Twitch is bollocks for good creators to be discovered on. It is. It's shit. You might be doing really good content, and you're never going to get found. So you've got to find other ways. That's why YouTube's a thing. That's why even for those Zoomers, TikTok's good, right? Not for me. I'm too old for that shit. You know, Instagram.
What's a
all
TikTok?
that. It's an old clock, mate. Yeah, there are people
Grandfather
dancing.
clock,
And stuff.
but
Yeah, don't worry about it.
smaller.
It's a Chinese thing that Oracle are buying. Is it Oracle that's buying that? I can't remember.
I don't
anyway,
know.
yeah, I think Oracle are buying it. But anyway, yeah,
Well, I mean, they were going to find a buyer, but thanks,
Yeah.
States.
but yeah, my point is, we just need a little bit more honesty in the tiny person, the tiny streamer and content creator community a little bit, you know, because it's not for everybody. How many people do you
No,
watch?
that's
How
true.
many people do you watch that you've got to actually make your shit in your head, but you would say to them? Yeah,
Leaves open
yeah,
TikTok.
Too many.
A fair few.
yeah.
Fair few.
You've got to just get up. Just sub
This
to
isn't
me.
for you.
I mean,
And it's
I could
know I've
never
been
do
harsh.
that. But there are people I know who I should say, just don't bother. Like,
I would never say don't bother. It's just more about like maybe you should try it and do it in a different way. Maybe this game's not the right game for you. You know, trying to get into whether it's war. It was like when we spoke to when Mr. GM was on. I thought a lot of his stuff that he said. If any of you guys haven't seen it and you are want to have a little look, it's in the affiliate show link. Just watch playlist, like and subscribe. Thank you.
Speak the algorithm, guys.
Mr. GM, like I mean, there's no point in me saying this because
Algorithm.
I'm a small creator as well. So don't, if you're listening to any of the things I'm saying, don't take my advice. Because I've not done anything, you know? I've done fuck all. This is just the advice that I'm seeing from people that have done it. You know, like some Mr. GM, who's a Twitch partner and a bordering on 100,000 subscriber YouTuber that was on this show last time. You know, this is where I'm getting a lot of this stuff from. Listen to those guys. Don't listen to the people that are in your follow for follow groups or all that bollocks, because they don't know shit.
Papa pause.
You know?
I vote for Saruk as supreme leader of the world. We bow to you.
Yes, Supreme Leader. Yes, Supreme Leader.
Supreme Leader speaketh the truth without breath.
Give me your wisdom.
So
Supreme
that's
Farouk.
anyway. That's
You're
my
not worthy.
that's my TED talk and rant. But anyway,
That's
you guys can tell me how wrong I am in those thoughts now. Go for it. Well, I just finished my tea.
It's
Uh,
I know I don't think you are that wrong at all.
all hail
But
Saruk.
it is effective. It is hard effectively roasting people. Like,
Want to bet?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it is in
No, what a
Twitch.
bet.
It is in Twitch because Twitch is like a very like I only really watch Twitch videos because I also do Twitch. Like before that, I wouldn't necessarily go in there and just
Being
watch
on the
the
website.
videos.
Yeah.
I've only started to do that since I've been
Yeah.
doing it.
Twitch
And
is
if I've
tough.
had a break from it, I found I'm not watching as many that I used to watch. So it's like your community, you're all helping each other out. It's like you can't grow further than that much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you are trying to support each other. It's harder to give criticism. I still would give someone criticism if they wanted a true, honest answer. I mean, I'm not.
But a lot of
gonna
people
be a
don't,
bitch
that's the
about it,
thing.
but
I think a lot of people don't want
but
the
people
truth.
don't
you know?
ask.
Yeah.
No, they don't want the truth.
Twitch is hard as well because something I think it was a Devin Nash thing actually that so I'll not take credit for this take. But Twitch is considered much more competitive than YouTube. You know, I think we spoke about it before. If us four were on Twitch at the same time right now, all streaming, you can only watch one of us. I mean, yeah, you can have multiple tabs open, but that's not how the populace use Twitch, right? You know, they might have one or two, but like you're fighting for the attention of people that are online at the time. On YouTube, we have a bunch. YouTube, there we go. Oh, hi guys.
YouTube.
You have, you know, you watch multiple videos, and your video will be there forevermore. You know.
Mhm.
Somebody might watch this tomorrow, and just because they're watching another stream or something just now doesn't mean they're going to miss it, or they're going to, you know, or I'm not going to get the uptick from their viewership, you know. But I think we're just so fucking nice to some people, and it's not just to fucking slate people or just to put people down. I don't want to do that. It just sickens me sometimes, you know. Do you know what else sickens me while we're on it?
What else sickens you, Saruk?
People that
Oh,
post
don't
on
get him
Facebook,
started.
right? People that post on Facebook about how every day I've missed you every day and I think about you all the time, and they're referring to their dead dog from like 4 years ago, right? No, you've not thought about him
Okay.
every day. You've not. I bet you didn't yesterday. What did you think about him yesterday? What about last Tuesday?
It's
At what
so
moment of last
true.
Wednesday did you think about your dog? And why did you think about your dog? Are you missing somebody licking
Yeah,
your
what
nuts?
was-
And you were like, oh, my nuts are surprisingly dry
Yeah.
today. You know, is that what it was?
And I thought of my dog.
It
I missed
annoys me.
picking up dog shit.
And they've posted like with a
Oh, gosh.
montage of like 19 pictures that have all been like with filters. Filter on your dog? Really? Why do
We
you
get
think- why-
self-conscious, you know.
Why have you taken a picture of your dog and you go, do you know what he could do with a little rosy glow? Like, it's fucking nonsense. Like, legit nonsense. And you're like, and it's a big screen. It's like, all those memories we've had, and with this and with that. And you're like, and he's like, rest in peace, Trigger, 2008. And you're like, listen, if your
Still,
dog, if a family
talk
member
about
or a
it.
dog or a pet dies, like, it's harsh, right? I get that. If it happened yesterday, seek a little support from your friends and family on social media. That's fine. 4 years down the line, you're just fucking milking that dead dog for clicks, right?
Well,
That's
that's
all
the
you're
thing. The
fucking
thing that
doing.
annoys me is when you see stuff like that, and then you see comments of going, "Oh, bless you.
I hope you're all
thinking of
right."
you,"
And they're like, "Oh,
which makes
and
me
they're like,
sound like a
send me a
massive
message
cunt.
if you need
I'm
me."
not. I'm a nice person, I promise.
I want to do laugh
it's when they
reacts
do
to
it,
them all.
it's where they put it on Facebook, like, "Oh, I've had
Oh,
something's happened
thanks,
today,"
guys.
and they're like, "Oh, what's happened?" And they're like, "Oh, it don't matter." It's like, well, why post about it on Facebook
Yeah.
then if it don't matter?
Don't.
Like, you're
That
just
that
throwing a
annoys
line
the
out.
fuck out of me.
Oh,
I know.
DM.
What?
I'll message you,
No,
babe.
it's worse. It's worse when they say, "I'll DM you."
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
I'll
it's
PM you.
But I
babe.
don't know you well enough to message this and get that message, so I'll never know. I'll never.
Yeah,
I want to know.
I don't have that many people that do that sort of stuff on Facebook anymore because they've all blocked me.
the answer of just life.
Just like,
Just like, yeah, I feel that, bro. Yeah, bro.
Or the memes that are like random fucking emotional quotes to like a picture of a sunset, and it's got this sort of script text on it, and it just, I'm like, you've not even read that. You just saw a sunset, and you're like, oh, this will be good. This will get me the likes.
Oh, share.
I like
literally.
the ones. I like the ones where they say,
Oh, bro.
I'm just looking for
You know,
4
I-
people to share this. I bet I just need 5 people to share this. I bet I know who will. And you're like,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
nobody
the
has.
ones-
nobody.
I hate the
That's
ones
the
where
answer.
it's a picture of something and it says, "I won't get any likes," and like sad face or something.
And then
just
like
to
they get loads of likes.
purposely get.
then I
tons
write
of
Or there's
likes.
correct.
like, or they put in the comments like, say one word about us that like resembles us, and I'll write a message, like a paragraph underneath per person, and it's
I'll
like,
write it back to you.
I write it back to you, and they're like, "Oh, we met when we was in school, and we did this," and it's like, "Oh God, who gives a fuck, man?" Like,
It's like,
honestly.
it's like that. It's the same thing with the riddles, the riddles you get, that the answer is always, oh, it's a woman actually, not a man. And that's always the answer to them, because it's about like, us thinking
There's a
about the
postman,
patriarchy.
there's a fireman, and there's
Yeah.
a doctor.
Yeah, they're all women.
Share
And
the pick
everybody's
of
like,
money
oh
and
my
wealth
God,
come your way.
the
Don't
patriarchy is
ignore.
real.
Oh, I love the don't ignore ones.
Should have
Don't
picked
ignore.
something.
Don't ignore.
If you
Yeah.
ignore this,
Oh,
you will
God.
get 7 years bad luck.
Oh, God.
That's bants as well. I can't. I
I
don't.
always
just
the
miss
mums
chain
as well.
emails. Chain emails
it's
have
always
the
gone
mums.
the way of the dodo, but I quite like
Yeah.
looking at them. Thinking, well, how many
Shit,
idiots have
social
been like
media.
looking at the CC? How many are there? Was always quite crazy.
Literally.
I'm probably gonna
like,
I'm probably going to offend some people, but I get a lot of the mum ones where it's like, share a picture of your mum and tell her how great she's been, and tag 10 other good mums that you know, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I haven't actually been tagged in any, but
If I right, my
Sorry,
mum,
annoy
and
me.
if you're still watching, Mum, I love you. But my mum's not on Facebook because she's a real boomer and understands that no, she's just not for her, right? That's just fine.
Okay.
But if I was to sort of tag my mum and shit like that, my mum's very similar to me, right?
Okay.
Very. So just think about this: a boomer female version
I'd
of
love
me.
to meet your mum.
My mum's awesome. My
Okay.
mum is a fucking rock star, right? But
I
she'd
bet
be
she
like,
is as well,
what
yeah.
is this? And why am I getting this? Stop you mean so much to me, and tag the one that brought you into this world. And Mum's like, I fucking know I was there, dick. She wouldn't swear. But, she would say it in a much nicer way than that, right? Before she texts me and say, I would never say that. Christopher. I'd get called Christopher and be annoyed about it. So,
yeah,
Yeah.
me too, mate. Me too.
you're in trouble, when you get called Christopher. You're like,
Aye.
Jesus fuck.
Christopher, I'm like,
I was like, my name's Saruk, what are you talking about?
I know, right? It's toasty, man.
Not
It's
again,
toasty,
Mama.
baby.
But yeah, it's
Toasty, get down here now.
but I was talking about this with somebody. Who was I talking about this with? Oh yeah, a couple of my girlfriend's sort of friends and things. We were, Saruk, you're a beauty and a pleasure. Thanks, Squire. So are you.
Oh,
No.
Squire.
And it was about how people that we all have shit that goes on in our lives, right? Whether it's medical, whether it's mental, whether it's just work and like all that sort of shit. And you look at your friends on social media and you're like, oh man, everybody's doing so well and everybody's doing this and everybody's doing that. And we've said that if you look at your own social media, and pretend it's not yours, right? And this is terrible. Look at your own social media and scroll through it, and pretend it's not yours. You'll go, oh, wow, that guy's having a good life, or that girl's doing all right, because you only post the best bits, right? Most of the time, all right, you'll get some of the clout chasers that just like being depressed, so that they just like are doing it for likes. I get that.
Oh,
You know?
bro.
Just
Oh no.
toast his Facebook all
No.
over.
You know, there we go. You know, so,
Don't do
but
it.
I don't think we even realize how much we censor ourselves on social media. How much self-censorship goes on. That's not real. It's not any of us. The person you are on
Yeah.
social media, you know, is not who you fucking are.
No, yeah, I totally agree with that, because I've had like a few people be like, "Well, I thought you were okay," like, you know, or I had no idea that was going on. I'm like, well, yeah, I don't post everything on my social media
Yeah,
to
'cause
be
you're a
Yeah.
like,
cunt, and I didn't really
here's
want
what's
to tell you
exactly
anyway.
going on in my life. And then
Yeah.
you almost get judged for some of, you know, in real life. I mean, you get judged by maybe decisions that you make in life because of, you know, your social media portraying it to look a certain way when it's not. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
when you leave a relationship or something, you'll obviously have reasons, and it's like, yeah, but you were so happy, and I'm like, was I?
Well, it wasn't because we've
Were,
split up.
were you in
No, it
my
wasn't 'cause I
body
just left
living
the
my
twat.
life? Like, do you know what I mean?
It's like it just reminded me of something. It was a study that I read ages ago now. I
Guys,
need to
my
find it again.
camera's dead, like fully dead.
We'll get it back
Just
again.
the voice of
It's all right. We
toast.
can just we can hear you.
Toast.
We can hear you. It was a study that I saw, and apparently 3 months is the socially acceptable period of grief. Right? So when I
Wow.
say that,
Socially acceptable.
yeah. So it's like if you have a close family member die, or you know you have anything that's like, you know, you a relationship ends.
Sorry,
I like that.
just seen that.
That's funny as fuck.
I like that.
Or you end a relationship ends or things like that. Socially, your friends and people close to you will give a fuck for 3 months. Then after that, they don't care as much as they say.
Mhm.
You know, obviously people are different, but
Yeah.
that's. I think it was oh god, where was it? I think it was a John Hopkins thing. I think it was from John Hopkins, but I'll find out. But yeah, apparently it's 3
I
months.
believe that though. That sounds about right. In the
Before
eyes of
people are
social
like,
media.
oh man, Ellie, McLeod's still going on about that. You know, it was like
Still.
it was 7 weeks ago, for God's sake, right? And you know, he's got another 5, and then that's him. I'm fucking out of here, right? You know, but that's when people start to bitch about you behind your back. Apparently,
Mhm. But that's the thing. Like, it is mainly the relationship thing that like has been it has affected me, because it's like whenever you change your name on Facebook, or you update your relationship status or whatever, and then people seem to go, "Oh, that's really quick." And it's like, well, not really. It's just because I haven't posted anything on social media. So if you go on there, it looks like, you know, one thing's gone straight into another, but it's just because you're
Yeah.
not going to post like, I am moving out now. Like,
Yeah.
I have
We had
been
an
sat
argument.
eating takeaway. I've been sat eating takeaway on my own for 2 months now. Like,
yeah.
I met someone new today. Like, you don't. So if you
They
you
turned
know,
out to
you're
be an
in a-
ass. Yeah.
Date 2
Just
went
a quick
wrong.
one.
Let's try again. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you don't do.
Got
You don't
ghosted
go
on
on social
Tinder.
media and do. Yeah, exactly. You don't go through everything. You know,
How
that
do you
you
think life
do
would
on a
be
day-to-day
if we were a
basis.
bit more like that?
Sorry?
How do you think life would be as if everybody was a bit more like that?
What? Actually
be honest.
open and honest.
Mm.
I think we'd all kill each other and be in big wars.
Do you? Or do you think we'd be a bit happier?
Oh.
No. No.
Maybe.
No way would we be happier.
Mm.
I would.
I think.
Yeah, the psychopaths would be fine. It's like they don't have to hide their psychopaths anymore.
But that's the thing. You don't put all the bad stuff that's going on in your life, or some people do to get that attention. But like the
Zoomers
general
do.
people, I believe, would not really put all your stuff like that out there, because I believe the reason I do it is because I don't. If I was flicking through, I don't want to see that. You flick through social media or YouTube or whatever to, for information and for fun. You don't go through there purposely wanting to read about everybody's depressive days. Like I don't
Personal lives
particularly.
and stuff. Yeah.
If someone's struggling, I
Memes
would
and
like for them
videos.
to come to me and I will help them. Like I don't know. Do you know? I'm trying to say it in a really sensitive way, but I just mean
Give a
I
fuck
wouldn't
about
want to do
people.
that because I wouldn't want. No, I do.
It's
Basically,
it's
It's
tough.
hard to explain, but
God,
you know
evil.
what I mean. Like I want to
No, I
help
know what you
people,
mean.
I really do, but not everybody puts their life out there because of that reason. It's people aren't going to be interested, and I don't put things on there to be interesting. I put it on there, to keep a record of my pictures and my memories and stuff. Like I don't use it as a day-to-day diary, and I don't think
Which
many
is what people
do.
do. I think some people use it as a diary. Like they literally post every single thought, what they've done in the day, and it's like, why do you want
Yeah,
that
it's like
online?
some
Like, why
people
do you
do,
want
but
that
I
for
just
everyone
have
to
never been
read?
like that.
Yeah, like it's just like a little window into people's lives. But again, it's like I don't care about it, but it's there in front of my face, so I'm gonna read it regardless because it's it's sort of there. It's not like it's like
Content for you.
content in it. It's basically other people's lives is just entertainment for you. That's what videos are. That's what memes are. Like
Sure, you're bang
it's all
on
other,
there. You're bang
Yeah.
on with
just
that comment. It's,
Yeah,
the
sure.
other
I was
hand,
just gonna say
it's
that's why I
it's
said
a
it's
bit of a
hard.
balance. Because people do,
It's hard.
when people do want to be honest, yeah, sometimes you can tell though, and you're like, and it's hard because as much as sometimes you want to help, you maybe don't have the emotional strength to do anything about it, or the experience, or
Well,
anything like
that's
that.
the thing, and I
You don't
feel
wanna get
like I'm
involved.
really,
It's tough.
open and honest. I don't want to drag everybody down. If I told you all about every single bad day I have, it would be a very long process. But I would like, because
Content.
I'm not going to say I've never put out there that I'm struggling or
Yeah.
it's a really shitty time, because I have done that. I don't do it every single day, and I hope that because I have only done it, once or twice, it's genuine and it's not
Yeah.
to be like having everybody jump in there and go, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. How can I help you?" It's not for that. It was mostly because I was doing Twitch. I didn't want people missing out on content and thinking I'd just drifted off somewhere.
Yeah.
It was more for like information, and I think, like you said, you can tell if it's genuine from somebody. And I would jump in there and be like, "Ooh, what's going on? Do you need anything?" You can tell who does it for attention and who doesn't. In
I
my
think that's the
opinion.
thing as well, and I think it's important as well if you do reach out in any way, whether it's on social media, or whatever, and you don't get the feedback that you were expecting. It are times where you see people and that you feel that they're kind of get a bit miffed about it, a bit aggrieved, a bit like, oh, I know who my friends are now, sort of, and you'll get that post coming up at some point, I thought I
Yeah.
knew who my friends are, ...
They're probably the ones who are telling you the thing you don't want to hear, actually, but okay.
You're like, yeah, you're like, those people that reached out, thank you. Those that didn't, I will be clearing out my Facebook friends ASAP. You're like, all right.
yeah. Like, okay.
I mean,
bye.
it's a shame because you always really cheered me up every time I was taking a shit. Like, you really did. Like, I'd be like, oh, you've posted. Cool. This is going to be good. What have you got to say for yourself? It's...
Yeah.
I mean, it's either that or it's political rants now, isn't it? Ill-informed political rants.
That's true. And then it's like solving the world's problems on Facebook, like people comment on each other and having arguments, like trying to correct the world all over Facebook. And it's like,
See, that's why I
why
can't
get
look
so
at
involved?
it.
Like why care that
Yeah.
much that you have to literally like create arguments online? Like it just doesn't make sense. Like
It's easy to get sucked into that stuff though, because that's why I don't look at it every day, especially if it's to do with the NHS and government and stuff, and you just see so many stupid comments. Like I can't even put into words some of the absolute
I'm going to post this
stupidity that I've seen.
infographic that's wrong in the first place. Then I'm going to interpret the thing that's wrong anyway because I'm an idiot and never took statistics. And then I'm going to make a judgment on it and tell you all how the country should be run.
Or somebody that's
off.
posted a link to an article, and they've just read the headline and the bold bit below it, and then just made this snap judgment on it, and then you read it and you go, "That's not what it says."
That's not what it says.
This is
Yeah,
not
it's
what it says
literally
at all.
nothing about the article. Yeah,
It's exact opposite.
because I have to stop. I have to stop myself going, well, actually, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, and I have to just step away.
I have one guy on my Facebook that I have to associate with him every so often, friends of friends, that sort of thing. But I go to his Facebook on purpose because I like looking at the random crap he's posted incorrectly and looking at in what
Content,
way he has misinterpreted it this time, or is pushing his agenda, his message. It honestly
you,
gives
Shark.
me. I enjoy looking at it, and
It's-
perhaps I'm a bit sick for that, but
Sometimes, yeah, I'm the same, but it's like I'll look at it and I go, see, I really want to say something now. Is
Yes, that's what I mean.
is this the hill I want to die on now? Because
Yeah.
he will block me, and I do enjoy reading this shit from time to time. So I'll just not say anything, and I'll wait for a better one, right? I'll wait for one that I can really hammer him. But it's just fucking crazy shit just now, boys and girls. You can't believe anything. You know, it's all
Nope.
most of it's twisted, and it's like when going back to what I was saying right at the start of this, when I was talking about watching the debate, Trump and Biden, and having CNN on one screen and Fox News on the other. It's crazy. Like everybody's in their little social media bubbles, and you're not getting them out. You know, whether we like it or not, we're in those bubbles too. You know,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
we've put ourselves
It's
across.
society,
We've
though,
liked
isn't it?
things.
It's-
We've done things. We are being. It's like that. I'm sure a lot of you will have seen it. The documentary on Netflix, Our Social Dilemma. If you've not, go and watch it because it goes into a lot of really good detail about it. We are in an algorithm. We have been fed information that companies want us to see. We have been. None of us are completely isolated from this. We're not. We're fucking on YouTube just now, for fuck's sake.
But if you, for example, if you decided to disassociate yourself with all social media and all internet, like how disconnected you'd be from everything. Like there was so much you would miss. There's so many
how
things.
it's
Like,
designed.
it's like you have to have it. It's like a necessity nowadays having to be online and being connected because it's so important, which is ridiculous because it's just a hold over everyone. It's like, well, you have to be it. You have to be in the loop
Yeah.
to be in society.
Well,
Like,
when you think about the internet itself, when you're moving house, nobody fights for a landline anymore. You need to
No.
absolutely make sure you have the internet above all
Internet, yeah.
things.
it's like food. It's like water and gas and like heating.
Yeah.
It's like a part of it, like a necessity now.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure there's some
crazy.
countries that it's become like a required utility is the internet. Like your house has to have water, it has to have running water, it has to have electricity, it has to have the internet. You know, that's a requirement, and rightly so in a lot of ways, for some in
Yeah.
some degrees. I bet certain.
am I
certain
right in
burners
thinking
would-
it's put down as a human right now? Oh no, free access to the internet. Sorry.
Yeah, I think something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I know, boys and girls. I think we're all fucked.
Correct.
It can't get any
That's
worse,
for
though,
a
can it,
long
mate?
time.
Can't get any worse.
In seriousness, though, like all we can really do is just try and just be a little bit better, right, with each other. I do still. I know I've been slating certain aspects of Twitch and Facebook through for the last hour and a half, but at the same time, I think a little bit honesty, because sometimes we just feed delusions, and I think we need to just stop feeding delusions, because that actually does impact people's mental health more when they've been fed this any delusion, whatever it happens to be, that they're amazing
house of
at
cards
Twitch,
comes
they're amazing
crashing.
at this. Eventually, yep, and that house of cards is bigger and bigger and bigger, and then suddenly it all comes crashing down, and they have some sort of mental breakdown. It becomes a much bigger hit because they've been fed, and it's just been reinforced and reinforced and reinforced, and then suddenly it dawns on them for whatever the thing happens to be. And then it's worse. And that's just because a bunch of people just decided to give them a little, oh, I'm just giving them encouragement. No, you're feeding a delusion, and it's important to recognize the difference between encouragement and feeding that.
That's the thing, and I never want to come across as being a bit of a bitch by not encouraging. Oh, it's not encouraging. It looks like you're not supporting those people that constantly put out that they're feeling bad or they're low mood or whatever. Those types of messages on Facebook that are constant. There's like, it's not once in a blue moon you think, ooh, that's unusual for them, I hope they're okay. Seen as an attention thing. It's hard to decipher whether that person really needs the help, and I almost don't want to encourage that. Do you know? I don't know how to phrase it. It's like you don't want to encourage that behavior, but then you can't be sure that it is that kind of behavior that they're
It's
doing.
tough.
You don't know if it is for attention or is to stop
Yeah.
themselves doing something to themselves.
You know what? It's actually funny. I think it comes round to the mask thing. And I do have to accept there are some people who do have a serious enough medical condition not to wear a mask. But I know there are a lot of people who are milking something that either doesn't exist or basically doesn't exist and are using it as an excuse not to wear a mask, and you can't tell the difference. And that's annoying.
Here's a question that kind of covers both of those things for each of you guys, really. Has the whole pandemic from March to now, right? Do you guys know of any individuals on your social media and your personal lives? You don't have to obviously name them, that your opinion has changed dramatically about how they have reacted to this and the sort of things they've either said on social media that you've gone, oh, I wouldn't have expected that from you. You know, is anybody specific that you guys can think of? Because there's a couple that I've found that I've gone, oh wow, it turns out when the shit hits the fan, you're an asshole. You know,
mine was not more for COVID. Mine was more for the sort of the BLM movement. That's when I realized there was a lot of people I didn't like on Facebook. I was like, holy shit! It's like, what's going on?
It's when real stuff happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Like it just show the true colors, and it's kind of like, whoa! It's like you never thought they could be like that. It's like,
yeah. I mean, funnily enough, actually, yeah. As far as COVID goes, everyone that I know reacted in the way I thought they would. And that's in particular the aforementioned arsehole who does the infographics acted in exactly the way I expected him to, which was he acted like an arsehole. And to be honest, most of the people I know were all right with it. But yeah, the lack of understanding around BLM surprised me. I am actually being very nice when I say lack of understanding. The amount of racism in my Facebook surprised me.
That literally that was literally what I was about to say. It's ridiculous. And it's sort of hard because is it like upbringings, you know, as I say, my parents are very racist, but I'm not. But I know when I was a lot younger, I didn't obviously have that sort of opinion. It was sort of what they said, and you just sort of go along with it. But now I'm at the age of 27, you sort of feel like you have your own opinions on it, and the fact that theirs hasn't changed, kind of like, what? It just don't make sense. It's just the naivety of it.
Is it just a lot of the times it's just white privilege?
Basically, and it's
and it doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know if anybody even in this call, you know, believes that doesn't exist. If you do, any of you three do believe that doesn't exist, I'd be happy to tell you why you're wrong.
But white privilege is 100% a thing. My God,
yeah, of course it is. Like, even if you don't want it to be, you can't help it. It's just one of the things.
And that's not to say that anybody that you know that any of us are bad people. That's not what it's about either.
But you don't get a choice, do you? Really?
No. and three of us in here are even better than the other because we're white and male.
Yeah.
Literally.
Thanks.
Like
it's
you know,
when you've been as the way that society is, I was going to say society, but that's wrong. The way that history has unfolded, that white males have pretty much ran the show forevermore, right?
Pretty much,
now it's getting to the point where we're kind of not, or we're getting knocked down a peg or two. Suddenly everybody's thinking that it's the end of the fucking world. And you're like, no,
I'm a
minority. Do you know what's happening?
No.
You're not. You're still in charge of most things. It's just the case of, you know what? Other people are now getting a fair shot, and now you're actually having to compete with people on merit, and not just on the fact that you've got a dick or the fact that you happen to be white. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's
ridiculous, isn't it?
I have found that through COVID, I mean, society in general is like people are being more accepting of people from different backgrounds and different sexuality and all that stuff. That's a good thing, but I found over COVID, especially on social media, people are finding more problems for things that haven't ever been a problem. Do you know what I mean? Like they're picking on all these little things and making it a problem when it's not. Like for an example, like recently I saw something on Facebook. It was to do with the Great British Bake Off, because obviously I love watching that.
It's an institution.
So one of the
basic.
Can I say it? It's spoilers. You guys won't care. Anyway, spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear,
they made that cake.
Then don't listen.
Huh? Oh my God!
They baked a cake.
Croutons were undercooked.
Fucking icing.
The icing. It was.
It's not cooled properly.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
if
he's
you
left-
do an icing now, it'll be fucked.
Oh, he's left the oven door open too long. He's fucked
No,
it.
he has.
Right, guys.
His
That's just
souffle
me when
has
I'm watching it.
deflated.
Elliot is talking. Stop being toxic males and interrupting. You were saying.
I
Elliot.
know, right? White supremacy.
It's fine. I'll get them back later anyway. But no, I just saw something on there that was like, because one of the contestants had been like eliminated or whatever, and they all on this Facebook thing were saying that it was a racist thing, which it clearly wasn't a racist thing. But they were like, it's a bit funny that that's the third person of like non-British background or non-white person that's gone out in the competition, and they're like, no, she served raw cake to the judges. Like it was
Yeah,
raw
like,
cake. Like
doesn't.
but
Yeah,
I'm like,
she just
why are
can't. She
people
can't
even
bake.
bothering? Like, why even bother to try and make a problem that is clearly not a problem? Like,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
just getting
literally.
worse over
It's
COVID because people are sat
virtue
having
signaling.
nothing to do.
Mhm.
It's
I
just
mean,
virtue
like there
signaling.
was people that sat had nothing to do anyway, and now COVID's made it worse with people that usually had something to do a bit for most of the day, then definitely don't have anything to do for the whole day.
Yeah. No, I'm
I
with
don't know.
you.
I don't know about you
It's-
guys.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Is there's too many people that are virtue signaling that are trying to make themselves out to say, "Look at me, look how woke I am," like, and you're just like, dude,
Yeah.
like
Shut
there
up.
are
It's like it's
problems out
cool.
there. There
It's
are
like it's
problems
cool
out
to
there.
pick this problem out and go, look what problem I just found. And you're like, well, it wasn't a fucking problem, moron.
You just
Like,
made it into
it
one.
just makes
like-
me annoyed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't. I've used this phrase already, but it's like that. Is that really the hill you're going to die on today? Is that
Yeah.
is that the
Yeah.
problem that you're choosing to fight? You know, it's okay, but why? When there's so many other things out
Yeah.
there that you can discuss and
I
actually
don't know. It's
be
just
an authority
most
on
of
if you
social
do the
media
research.
you can kind of look at and be like, ugh, really? But I've just found it being really unbearable over COVID.
Yeah,
Like
no,
I've
it's
not been on social media the longest, like during COVID, because it's just unbearable.
Mhm.
yeah, people are
Mhm.
bored as well, isn't it? As we were saying, and
Mm.
they're starting to find other bits and pieces that are just boys and girls. It's just weird, and it does bother me.
This is our life.
It does. Yeah. It's where this is where it is. This is where we're at, and it bothers me.
It's only going to get worse as well. Think in another 30 years, what social media is going to be like? It's going to be a toxic place.
Do
It already
you think
is.
we'll hit a point though? Do you think we'll hit an event horizon where we all get sucked into a big hole and have orgies like they do in the film Event Horizon? Do you? I maybe miswatched that. But
I hope so.
No.
Yeah, go, yeah. Say that again
do
with different words.
Do you think we will hit a tipping point in which people will go, actually no. Actually,
Do you mean-
these are the
Do you
problems,
Do you mean
and they'll
kind
actually.
of like? Do you mean kind of like when studying in school was nerdy, and now all of a sudden studying in school is cool?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel
I
like
think at some
eventually-
point it's just going to
eventually
break and then go the other way.
in a
Well, no, it depends because I think like say Generation Z, for example, they like when we was their age, we had no social media. Like now, that's all they focus on. Their life is being an influencer and being this image, and I feel like it's only going to get worse because they're going to pump it into their kids how important Instagram was when I was 11.
How
Like,
much
it's
did
so
you listen
important
to
to
your
have an
kids?
Instagram.
Though? Sorry, how much did you listen to your parents? So how much are they going to listen to theirs?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
But
you know?
I kind of think you're right, only because I've started to see a lot more of real women like posting pictures of their real body compared to the posed, like they'll have, I don't know if you've seen this, but they'll have a picture of the posed picture, so where you're in like your sports gear on the side with your butt sticking out or whatever, and then the picture right next to it is when you've breathed out and all your chunks
yeah.
are
and
hanging.
you just
Like,
got out of bed.
And I think that's great because it's like, yes, that's what real people look like. Like, I'm all for that. But I have seen that a lot more. So it's kind of like when
It's an image,
it
isn't it?
was, you know, all media was skinny, gorgeous women. And now this is what real women look like. And it's cool to post pictures of being a real woman or, you know, a guy that's not beard lined up and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that you could have, there
mm.
could be some truth in that it's going to go the other way.
I think you're
But
right.
again, is it all? Sorry. Go on,
No,
carry
you
on.
go for it, man. I've run it.
No, I was just saying is that all like you see, got a lot of people saying like, oh yeah, look, real women. I totally agree, but again, it all just boils down to clout. It's just I'm doing this because it's slightly different than the norm, and I'm getting the likes and I'm getting the attention. Like it does all boil down to
Well,
that again.
yeah, and that's the thing. Again, again, I think it is like you said, it's kind of
Yeah.
attention linked, which is sad,
It's like
but
If the
I
outcome, though,
if you
totally understand
like
what you're
shuffle
saying.
across the
Yeah.
status quo, like if you shake up the status quo and be a bit different, that's what usually gets you the most attention. So people
It's
try and be
like-
different constantly.
if though the outcome is still positive, though, does it matter?
That again, yeah, suppose.
That's
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's why I said I kind of hope that it does tip that
Yeah.
way, because it will be more positive. I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's I mean, it's slightly different, but I like that as well. The idea, people are showing their real selves. I don't like people, or it's not. I don't like. It kind of irks me a little bit. People that are glamorizing. When I say overweight, I mean proper overweight, right? Not just that you've got a
Yeah,
couple
like
extra pounds, like
unhealthy
every human
overweight.
being does, right?
Obesity, I mean.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
bona fide
where,
obesity,
where,
okay.
where that's being
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
glamorized. You look at in America just now, what you've got is when Trump had
No,
COVID,
because that's not
right?
healthy. You
No,
shouldn't
it's not.
glamorize that.
Yeah, and when Trump had COVID, right, out of his circle of people that got it, 2 people went to hospital. Donald Trump and Chris Christie, right? If you don't know who Chris Christie is, Google him. They're both massively overweight, right? Obviously, he's the president, so he's probably going to go anyway. But the thing is, obesity is a killer in itself, and so is COVID. And what COVID's doing is it's killing you quicker. One of the reasons is because you're overweight. And I've said this on the podcast before, but more needs to be put into that side of things rather than saying big is beautiful and we're this and we're that. You're like, well, it might be, right? But I'd rather be healthy. How about you don't
Yeah,
die?
no, I agree with you. I'm saying like the normal body rolls, the normal cellulite, the normal stretch marks, spots.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
with
Do you know
like-
what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
That
yeah.
is, I'm okay with. The glamorizing obesity and unhealthy behavior, then no, that isn't a good thing. I agree.
But it's it's something we could go on and on for quite a long time about, I think. But
Yeah.
I know we've talked a lot about.
I know.
We've
Everything.
managed to chat
Literally.
shit for another
Really,
2 hours.
really
again.
shoot,
I know, right?
shooting the breeze
Yeah,
with
I
this
know,
one,
yeah.
actually. Yeah.
I
But
know, right?
I think a lot of times people just need to get some stuff off their chest, and I like to think that when we're here, even though we're live to a bunch of people, and it's going to be sitting there, and a bunch of people are going to be able to see it whenever they want, that we could still have a more honest conversation than you would do just sitting on Twitter or Facebook, and
Yes.
there's certainly no judgment
Not behind
here.
a keyboard, right?
From people that either in the chat or anything like that, and I'm sure I've probably pissed a couple of people off today. That's fine. I am
Is what
more
it
than
is, isn't it?
happy.
But that's the thing. It's everybody's. It's all of our opinions. It's not necessarily the correct opinion. It's not a fact for sure. We do try and talk about things that are linked to some sort of data and facts
Yeah,
to
yeah.
try and back up what we're saying. But at the end of the day, it's still all our
what
own
we've
perception of
experienced.
things. And
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
look at a post on Facebook, you only get one side and you get what you take from reading that. Whereas having an open conversation like this is a lot different.
Yeah, and the thing with me is I'm very willing to have my mind changed. Like I kind of actively
Are
seek
you?
that out. Yeah, I am. If somebody comes to me and says, "I think you're wrong," I'll be like, "All right, why?" And if they can tell me a solid reason, I will change my mind on things. I will. I'm not. I can be stubborn, but I'm not that arrogant that I won't change my mind. I won't have a
Yeah,
different opinion.
yeah.
I'm willing to have that done. It's the problem is
Well, I think
feel
the
a lot
open
of people
debate
don't.
though, like you get other people's opinion, and then you kind of it wouldn't have ever entered your mind unless you spoke to other people about it. So
Yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, well actually I didn't see it like that.
Totally. Ladies and gents, thank you very much. Has
Thank
anybody
you
got
as
anything
always,
they
Cyril.
want to say before we sign off?
I missed you
Say
guys.
everything. Yeah, but I have missed you all. I've missed being here. I've
know,
missed
missed
trying
being
to
here.
stay in frame on a camera while I try and fidget around.
Oh, he's a pain in the ass, guys. Right?
I'm
There's
so sorry to Saruk's followers and subscribers and stuff that usually watch his stuff, and this has nothing to do with it.
I know, right?
But hi.
Bye.
It's
Bye,
like
guys.
happy raiding, guys.
Yeah,
Whatever a raid is.
Enjoy. Happy pre-patch, guys. Hope you enjoy it. You're like, that guy that teaches me how to raid and teaches me how to play World of Warcraft. He hates fat people.
I know, right? Unsubscribe.
He likes dead dogs and stuff. He wants my dog to die. I don't want your dog to die. I just don't want you to talk about it in 5 years' time as if it just happened yesterday.
Bro.
But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Hopefully we'll have another wee chat soon.
Of course, definitely.
We might have
Definitely.
a topic. We might not.
We might not. We'll just
we might not. We
Who
might just
knows?
chat with
Well,
you guys.
That's the funny thing. Like, we had a little bit of what we were going to talk about, and then we started to have those conversations.
Expanded
Wait,
on
no,
it.
stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like
Something
that we do this without actually knowing what we're going to say.
Yeah.
It's good.
I mean, this was very reminiscent of us just sitting in a Discord and talking to one another. Actually,
Well,
I
that's-
do quite like
literally.
putting that. Yeah.
That's kind of what I kind of like about it as well. Is that's what
Yeah.
it should be, and we'll get other people on. We'll do bits and pieces like that. And we'll keep doing these. I am considering. I've kind of mentioned briefly to you about a long time ago that you probably forgot now, and I don't know if any of you guys are up for this, but I'm going to say it on air right now. Is having an overnight one for the American election.
Ooh.
I don't remember you saying that,
I
but I
said it.
want to.
You know,
Yeah,
I want to
maybe
get
not.
tickers on it. I want like it's, and I want to get a thing up the side where it shows that the results coming in. Yeah,
Ooh.
I want us to
Yeah.
all that. And
All
if-
2 points up. Wasn't expecting that from.
yeah, and if we've
Yeah.
got, especially like in the chat, if we've got any of our American brothers and sisters that want to jump on, and we can like schedule certain times where you guys are available and you can come on for an hour or so, and we can just
Ooh,
chat
yes.
about
If there's,
your
if there's
states.
availability slots, then
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would be
we
cool.
can do that.
because
That'd
be cool.
I don't think I could do it all night.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And we
love
can
it.
switch
We'll just
people in
see.
and out, and we can have people in from certain states, and they can talk about what their priorities are and what they were looking for when they voted, why they feel that their state is in a certain way that it is, and who they're voting for. Not necessarily who they're voting for, but who their state's voting for.
It's really interesting.
And things like that. And I think that might be quite good fun and quite enlightening, because obviously we're 4 Brits, and we have our opinions, but we see it on a more global scale, because that's where we are in comparison to America, where you guys will have much more local problems and local things and other reasons why you vote the way that you do, and it'd be really interesting to hear some of them. So
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
it is
into
interesting.
that,
The continuation of a steel mill in Idaho really doesn't affect us, but I can imagine it.
Yeah.
Affecting a voter.
What are
There.
your local issues that you guys? Sudoku's sus, yeah, pretty sus. I'm always red. That's my problem. I'm always red.
Oh,
Red
that's
gets
a
voted
problem,
out.
mate.
Right out the fucking airlock, me. But ladies and gentlemen, from chat, you've been fun. You've been good. I love you too, Power Pause, Squire, Short, Rob, Toast. No, that's you, Toast.
I am.
Other
me,
bits
hi.
and pieces, and all the other guys that I've mentioned on there, the subs and the likes and all that sort of stuff. Thank you very, very much. You guys have been
Cheers,
awesome.
guys.
These guys have been these guys. I've been Sudoku. And we'll see you guys next week. Or next time, whenever that is.
Next time,
Gotcha.
yeah. See you guys.
I'm waving. Bye.
Awkward
waving.
wave. Awkward wave.
I'm
Awkward
I'm
wave.
waving for
Awkward
toast.
wave. Awkward
Wait
wave.
for
Thank you.
toast.
I was gonna have clicked the button by then, but I thought I'd just keep you awkward waving for an abnormally long time. Catch you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.